Welcome into another episode of Let's Just Talk About It with your beautiful host, Jessica Cymone. Yes, tonight's topic is white people. What made you start deconstructing? I think again, we have like to have the tough conversations in here that are not always easy, not always easy to stomach or even be honest about. But I think it's very important that we continue to get down to the root of the issues. Again, we are live here on TikTok. So if you guys have another device, an iPad, a laptop, or another cellular phone, put it on the tube view and just sit it in there. We're live, Jessica Cymone, same name, so that we can accumulate the hours and have an easy, smooth transition. Your girl needs 3,000 hours, and we're at almost 1,200. So, and then I'm creating a playlist for people who are like, say, you go to work, you can just play it on your laptop and just have it play all day, so we can continue to also to get those hours. So, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. If you guys were here last night, we weren't necessarily on the tube view, but we had such a good time. We were playing games, guess that song. We played it, had a few battles. It was a bunch of laughs and a bunch of love. Shout out to James because he always say that joy is an act of resistance. And in a world full of chaos, we need a little bit of love. And that is what we did last night. We experienced joy in the middle of the chaos. We loved each other, spent time with each other, and I think that was very, very important. We just had um a racist misogynist guy come up and act out, and I wanted to say something, but I really, it just slipped my mind. I forgot what I was going to say. We're talking about impact. um I'm not sure. Oh, and oh, this is what I'm about to say. I know y'all are kind of off, probably like, where are you going with this? But I was just talking about quality versus quantity and the numbers and the impact. One, somebody said in the chat, I think it was Taylor Twice, said that Oprah could be in here. There was a podcaster who was doing his podcast, right? And there will be like four people in there, two to like four people every episode. And I think he went on for like a year and still only two to four people. And he was going to give up. Sometimes it's you're being put through a test. Is this something that you really want to do? How important does this really mean to you? Is this just a grift? Is this just a phase? What does it mean to you? Right when he was about to give up, he got a call from Oprah Winfrey to put his podcast on the own network. Because one of those people that were in that, out of those two to four people that was in his podcast every week, was somebody who worked for the own network and made a suggestion that his podcast should be on the own network. And he went from two to four people per podcast, per episode a year, to having a major deal on a major network. So sometimes it's just a test to see if this is something that you really want, and will you keep going when it seems like to everybody else it may not be happening the way you want it to happen, right? And so I don't measure my success by everybody else's metrics. The feedback that I get from the people that are in my live streams, the people that support me, and the feedback that the messages y'all send lets me know that I'm doing what's right and I love what I do. And so it just may be my test, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not going to lose myself to try to be what other people need me to be. Cuz baby, I fucking love being me. Jessica Simone is where it's at, and I don't care. And I always say, sometimes even when I'm always winning, even when it looks like I'm losing, I am winning. Okay, period. So let's get to white people. We want to know what made you start to deconstruct. Those of you guys who are voted for Kamala Harris, blue bracelets, working with your racism, the cult that you possibly have left in Christianity, the things that you do. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Thank you, Butter. Dina, welcome in. Mo, welcome in. Glitzy, I see that you had a couple of comments in there. Would you like to come up and tell us about like what made you start deconstructing and like the things that you did and the things that you realized? I'm trying to book Oprah for our banquet next year. Come on, book Oprah. Come on, book it, Oprah. Yes. Bree, whenever you're ready, I know sometimes you be at work when you're in here. You're welcome to come up as well. Um, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, Glitz, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I can't complain.
I know I sound insane, but like Oprah's from my hometown and she opened our Boys and Girls Club, which is where we're having our banquet next year. So it's a very long shot. We won't be able to get her, but I'm going to try.
Well, they've been hitting very long shots here lately, so you might just get it, you know? You just never know. Yeah, but
Anyway,
yeah, so keep trying. You just never know, and you just might get it. Shoot your shot. The only shot you're guaranteed to miss is the one that you don't shoot. So continue to do your thing, continue to try, continue to reach out, and it's okay.
that's right.
Mhm. Oh yeah, but what was it that made you start deconstructing?
Well, I was raised by a very racist father who said very heinous things my whole life growing up that I
Mm.
always knew was wrong. But if I said anything, I would get hit. It would not go well. So, that never sat well with me as a child. And then going forward, I always considered myself very open minded. Um,
What were some things
but
that he would say?
girl, you don't want to know. Bad.
I do want to know. You don't necessarily have to say the N word, but I do want to know.
He would say things like black people are going to go to a separate heaven if,
These are the things. Yeah, I do want to know. These are the things like I would definitely want to know. I think it's important to know exactly how they would think, right? So just so y'all
yeah,
know, you don't have to say necessarily nigga or nigger, but you can say the N. Not you can say the N word, but tell me. I do want to know some of the things that they think and what they say. So you said they're going to a separate what's that called? Heaven.
yeah, that
Okay.
we would be in a separate heaven. So, in in the afterlife, we would not associate. So, we didn't need to be associating on earth, that God did not put us here to mingle. And like, I would get in trouble if he found out I talked to a black person at school. Year, at the end of the year, I had signatures in my yearbook. He was looking at them,
Mhm.
and he would see names that didn't sound white, and he would be like, "Who's this? Are they black?" And yes, and I would get in trouble. Like, you don't let. I said, "What am I supposed to do when someone wants to sign my yearbook? Tell them no, that you don't do that."
Mhm. So you couldn't even talk to him. He said that God put us down, didn't bring us down here to mingle. Then did he say why God? Could you ask questions? Because did he ever say like why would God put us both here if we can't talk to each other?
No, he just said that it was, we were meant to be separate. We were not supposed, like, if somebody talked to me at school, look straight ahead and completely ignore them, which I didn't do, but, that's
Mhm.
what he told me to do.
You ever be like, well, Dad, why do I go to school with him if I can't talk to him?
Yeah, I mean, I would ask him why, and he would just, be like, no, God it does not want us to talk to them. You do not talk to those in words.
Mhm.
So he was a really scary guy. When he told you not to do something, you just didn't argue.
Yeah. Was he abusive? You don't have to
Yes.
answer that question if you don't, because I know it could get you know
Yeah,
personal.
he was.
Yeah.
He was. Definitely physically abusive to me and my mother.
Did he claim to be Christian?
Oh yes,
Did he
we
say
had to
that?
go to church every Sunday.
Did he say he do it in the name of Jesus? Thank you.
Yes,
Mom.
spare the rod, spoil the child was his favorite quote.
Mm. Did he know the scripture too?
He knew that.
Yeah. He knew just that particular scripture, right?
Yeah, he definitely knew that one.
Yeah. Because it seems like a lot of I. It's crazy because on the 2BU, if y'all go in some of the comments that I get on the 2BU are very, very, very hateful, and it's very and I get that it's hard to look. Hey, be just to look in the mirror, or it's hard to condemn your parents. It's hard to condemn your brother, sister, and things. But right is right and wrong is wrong, and this is deep rooted in why we have to get to the bottom of it, because also to hurt people, especially if they don't go to any therapy or feel like they were never taught to go to any therapy or able to talk about it or deconstruct themselves, right? So one, I just want to say thank you, Heather and Glitzy, and anybody that comes up here in the future to share your story, because respectfully I know there's going to be some type of abuse in it, and that spare the right, and they use it as Christianity to cover it up. Because even in the IDLP, they said they believe in severe punishment and they believe in psychological terror of the children, and they would teach them ways to pretty much beat their children without getting in trouble with the police. So, um, I just want to say thank you for, you know, being honest and your transparency up here tonight. As we continue to get into it. But so what was the thing that make you really start like, okay, this is not how I want to be, or start deconstructing, like, or what parts of you like, damn, I'm partaking in these things and I don't want to anymore. Like things like that.
Sorry. Okay.
Mhm.
Sorry, the kids.
No worries, take
Um,
your time.
I always knew that it was wrong. I don't know why I thought differently. I just did. Um, and knew that what he was saying was, not right. And I just knew that these were people I went to school with that I knew, and I saw no differences. Like, I didn't see what he saw. I didn't see evil. I didn't understand why, like I said, we were very into church, and why would a God put us all here and then we're just not allowed to speak to each other?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, so then when I was older, I did I dated different people, like not white, not just white people,
Mhm.
all, different races. And of course that didn't go over well
Mhm.
anytime he found out about that.
Did you purposely keep it from him, or did you bring him home to piss? Did you feel like he was doing it to piss him off, or do you feel
No,
like possibly you did it because you didn't want anybody like your daddy? Did you date white men often?
no, not really.
What are you thinking you didn't want anyone like your dad?
Yeah, I definitely didn't want anybody like him.
Mhm.
And I was not even speaking to him by this time. Like, by the time I was out of high school, didn't speak to him. But if
Mhm.
he found out, like, I know one day he like chased me and another guy. I didn't even know he was behind me. But then he like called my mom in a rage, and he was like, I was chasing her because she had a black man in the car with her. And I don't know. I'm glad we didn't get hurt that day
Psych,
because
thank you.
I didn't even know he was behind us.
Mm.
But he like stormed in my friend's house one day, and he was like, "Where are they? Where are they? Where are those N words?"
Did he have a job?
Yes.
Like, bro, go to work. Why are you worried about us?
His job, part of his job consisted of him riding around in his work truck, so he saw us a lot. He would stalk us all the time.
Oh my goodness. And so what did he think that black people were gonna do?
I really don't know. But when one got me pregnant, he wasn't happy about that.
Mm, mm. Do you feel
So I
like
guess
you
that's
was
what's.
doing it to stick it to him?
I don't think so. No. But I can tell you that anytime, well, let me take that back. Um, like my mother did not like my daughter's dad, and that just drove me more to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a rebellious thing because she really like threw a fit about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
Was she
kind
racist too though?
not like him, but in a different way. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like not as crazy. Like she didn't believe all the crazy stuff about going to a separate heaven and don't speak to him, and
Yeah.
but she still had like you know white people shit that she never worked through.
Mm-hmm. Felt like superior.
Yes, and like you don't need to date black men, and I know when I was pregnant with my daughter, she was really worried about she went to church a lot and she was like, I'll never be able to take the baby to church. Why? Because she's going to be dark and people will be able to tell. And I was like, why would you go to a church like that? And she couldn't answer that. Like, if your church has such a problem with a black person coming in their church, then why are you there?
Cause that's weird as hell. And I think like that's something to think about. Like, and I love children for this reason. For giving these thought provoking questions. Like, why would you go to a church like that? If God loves all and all of this, and we believe in this Bible, but the church, I can't bring a baby and you're pro life, kids are innocent, and I can't bring a baby in the church because they're gonna be too dark. That's muy interesante.
Right. It's crazy.
Mm. So did you ever take the baby to church?
She did. She did take the baby to church. And when she first did, she wanted to take her to church. I was like, why? Like, is my child safe in your church? You told me that you couldn't take her to church. So why would you want her to take her into the church and it's not going to be a safe place? And she said, they don't care. And I was like, why
Do
did you
they
say all
care or do
that?
they not?
Right. When I was pregnant, why were you saying all that stuff? And then and I really think one thing that made her like feel better about it was they had this revival one week and there was a family, like a black family, and they like had biracial children there. And I guess, and she was like, oh, okay, black people can come into the church now. So
So did God's views change? The priest views change? Like what changed? Or like now we can have um people in there. Oh yeah, you missed the battle. Oh yeah. Let me find out you was in your backup over there. I'm giving Oya a hard time. Try some coconuts for Oya. I love you, baby. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead, Oya. I mean, Glitz.
but yeah, I would like, that's hypocritical.
Hold on.
Why do
What
they
did he say? He said something about Noah. I saw. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, my bad. My bad. My apologies. I hate that the computer says something different than what's on the phone. Okay, but go ahead. Go ahead. So now that they're now letting black people in the church now.
Yes, and I was like, well, that's hypocritical if they wouldn't let a baby in the church, you know, 6 months ago, but now they have this whole family there and they're greeting them with open arms. Either they're fake and they're lying, or my mother was lying. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what was going on with this? I was talking about this with my daughter the other day, actually.
Did you go
Um,
to the church too?
I did sometimes because my family was just really into church, and they were like, I never went to church. By the time I was in like ninth, 10th grade, I quit, and but my mom had gotten into this cult like church and was always wanting me to go, so I would go like for the revival or for Easter, just like some holidays.
Mm-hmm. But not often. So you didn't kind of know the culture of it.
No, not I wasn't there a lot, but I knew what she would tell me.
So even though you were dating this black guy, do you even in your relationship or with them, do you feel like you still were participating in like microaggressions or feeling so in some way feeling superior? Like when did you feel like you started to do the actual like deconstructing, like in what type of way?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Because even when I look back then at some things with like his family, with the culture of his family, they were really poor. Their life was completely different from mine, and I was not wealthy by any means. I'm not trying to say that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just completely different. They lived out in the country, and I lived in the city, and just two completely different worlds. And so I was pretty judgy about his family sometimes, which now I look back and I'm like, I shouldn't have been so judgy about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Did you
Some
think
stuff
that they
is,
were poor because they were black or just poor because, circumstances? Like,
no, I just knew they were. But I mean, it was just some of the stuff they did or
fake it.
didn't do that was
Mm-hmm.
different from the way what I was used to.
Like what? I ask a lot of questions, y'all. I ask so many questions. My daddy used to be like, "Damn, what you writing a book?" So I'm gonna dig deep because the answer is always deeper than where you think it is.
Okay.
And if I'm getting too personal, you are always gonna say like, I don't know if I
Oh, it's
can.
okay. I just don't want y'all to think I'm awful.
No, listen. I know that this is something that's taught. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people don't deconstruct. That's why a lot of people, because they know it's easier to just continue the way they live, to be honest about some of the fucked up shit that they've done. And newsflash, though, that's also shadow work, and it's in every culture. People have to do the shadow work and be honest about where they are in life. And a lot of people don't want to be honest about where they are in life because they don't want to admit some of the fucked up shit they've done or the fucked up reasons that they've done it. It doesn't define you all the way up to that because I get if your parents are teaching you this, they're grooming you to be a certain way. So, yes, you're going to participate in some of these things. That's why the deconstructing part is the most important part because it's hard for people to deconstruct the racism because it's easier to just fall back into what you've been doing because you've done it before. Your parents think it's normal. Your friends think it's normal. Your cousins, your daddies, your brothers, uncles, everybody think it's normal. Your family think it's normal, and they'll accept you in doing so because nobody wants to break out of it. But I
Right.
know, just like whether you say no, I already know that there have been some instances because they have raised you to do that. They have raised you to do these things. He's pretty much telling you to go to school and say no. So if he says don't talk to any black people, don't let them sign your thing, and then you went to school and said no, you can't sign my thing, you're black. I expect that because that's how they raised you to be. Even if you're combating at the house, some of the things you're going to engage in. I know that you have been doing your deconstructing. I know you don't necessarily feel like that about us and also the people in the chat, the royal family, and all of the other black people that you know. But I do we're not naive to the fact that things that have happened previously before you got here, right?
Right.
It's I just want to let you know you're in a safe space. And also two people
Okay.
in the chat. It may be she may not even be the only one. The conversation may get a little wild, but we gotta know this is being taught. Things that are being taught, things that you're gonna participate in. And that's why the question is when do you start deconstructing? Like it could be when I was helping my white friends jump this black guy and they said this and I'm like, this is too much. This is not even real. He didn't even do nothing. Da, da, da. It could be that. So I just wanted you to let you know. Yes, I want to say we're not judging. You are doing the work. This is what you were taught. Exactly. And then they do it with abuse. This is
Right.
a group of people who went through villages and burned people to stake just so that they could become Christian. So when somebody's threatening your life or your own being, and from the very beginning to do something and be something, that is something that we understand, and then something that we get. I'm gonna link you up, Ham. I'm gonna put you on mute. And I'm gonna come to you in just a second. Thank you so much. Um, but go ahead, Glitz.
Okay. I don't have y'all ever heard of having to dig your own grave?
Mm-hmm.
Like a funeral home that doesn't do that for you?
Hold on. I know the saying "dig your own grave." There's actually places where you got to dig your own grave.
Oh my god. That's why I'm saying I was like being judgmental because they would have to dig their own graves. Like if somebody died because they couldn't afford to pay to bury people.
Mm-hmm. And
And
Mrs.
that was just crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. And this is in Mississippi.
This
You,
is Mississippi, rural country Mississippi, a black funeral home that would they would do the funeral, but I guess to cut costs for the family, you had to dig the grave, which I didn't even know you could
I didn't
actually
even
do
know
that.
that either. Like, I mean, and also too, you're teaching us too. These are things, some of this stuff we don't know either. I never knew that.
And my boyfriend, my daughter's father, when we met and we started dating, he was working in a factory that made prison mattresses, like mattresses for prisons. So I mean, we're country people, you know,
Well, you got
like
to think
we are.
Mississippi did not officially abolish slavery until the 13th amendment was officially ratified in 2013, you guys. So just think about that. 2013, they didn't even officially abolish slavery until 2013. Barely a little over a decade.
Yeah, and this is in like 2002, I think.
Mhm. Give me 1 second. Glitzy, don't go anywhere, of course. I appreciate you being here. Ham, welcome into the chat. How are you? See your request to unmute. Ham? Okay, maybe Ham is. Oh, there you go. Hello, Ham.
Okay,
How are
can
you?
hey, I'm good. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I can do you. I can hear you just fine.
Okay, great. Hey, so I live in East Texas, and they call it the Bible Belt, this area that I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, from my earliest memories, all I remember is questioning the things I was told, like, for example, the Tower of Babel story. When I heard that like all the people of different colors and languages were working together, they got struck down by God, and I thought that sounded like not a good thing. And I questioned that. And also, you know in the schools and churches that I went to a Christian school, first grade to eighth grade. My family went to I mean, dozens of churches, and I remembered they would teach us this song, I'm in the Lord's army. If you ever heard of that song, it says, uh, it's like, or no, wait, I'm sorry, it's another song. Father Abraham. Father Abraham had many sons, and many sons had Father Abraham, and I'm one of them, and so are you. And so, but if once I read the story of Abraham, I saw that God asked him to sacrifice his son. And he
Mm-hmm.
says, okay, well, gets the knife, takes his son up into the mountain. And I really questioned that. And the reason why it scared me so much was because I knew my dad would do that to me,
Wow.
that he would, without question, if he thought God asked him to, he would take me up to the mountain and sacrifice me. But I just, my whole life, I would always question things. I remembered seeing, I think, Forrest Gump. It's the first time I saw the Black Panther Party, and you know, even just from being introduced to them by that, you know, they were trying to protect their community. There was police brutality, and I remembered thinking, well, my dad was acting like they were bad guys, like these guys were just scum. And I I also remembered hearing the song by Tupac Changes,
Mm,
where he says this line, "It's time to fight back." That's what Huey said. Two shots in the dark. Now Huey's dead.
mm,
And so then I found out about the Black Panthers and how, you know, they were basically all slaughtered by, you know, cops in their cities and
mhm,
the FBI. And it just really bothered me that, you know, that my dad and probably, you know, everybody around me in my world thought that that was, you know, that that was okay. And, you know, at first when I was a kid, I kind of didn't think my dad was racist because, you know, if we were in the store, you know, if there was like a black person in line with us, you know, he would chit chat with them, but not if they were wearing something to, you know, protect their hair like a do rag, or, you know,
mhm,
if they had on a sports jersey, you know. And then
mhm,
he started saying things like calling them thugs,
mhm.
you know, just for head wear. And
They had to look a certain way for him to just even respect them or
yes,
talk to him. Gotcha.
yes. And so and I went to work with my dad. We would drive around Dallas and you know, go to these Southwestern Bell uh, truck yards and repair the trucks. And he would listen to conservative radio. And eventually, he got on to Rush Limbaugh, and he just started acting very angry. He was very angry, particularly with Democrats,
Mm,
because that was the thing. Rush Limbaugh would be talking about Democrats, the whole Monica Lewinsky scandal. I remember he was so excited about, like, he recorded that on tape, and and so eventually, well, later Obama gets elected, or he, you know, starts running, and for the first time I heard my dad use the N word.
mm,
We were driving up to our house, and like I wasn't keeping up with sweeping the porch the way he wanted to, and he was just like, "Looks like a bunch of N words live here."
mm.
And then my sister briefly dated a black boy. He started calling her an N word whore, an N word lover, and so he put on this fakeness when he would see like the few black people that would be at our church, if you know, if there were any. You
Mhm.
know, like there would be like this token black lady that would, you know, holler out when the preacher would say something that, you know, that she liked, and it seemed like just very fake. You know, that they would go and talk to this lady in the church and with a smile on their face, but then uh, you know, act completely different at home. And you know, I didn't think they were like on purpose racist,
Yeah.
but then it just got stronger and stronger. And so like I knew the whole all these Trump people before they had Trump to latch onto, and it's just been devastating to see. And the common denominator is always that it's it's their version of Christianity.
Mhm.
And you know, my dad like really enjoyed inflicting pain. Like it's
That's
like this love for cruelty. um
that's what
he
I was gonna
made
ask you, but I didn't, and you don't have to answer the question.
yes.
Was there
Oh yes,
abuse?
all
Was there abuse? And was it also to And or was it also too in the name of spare the rod, or in Christianity of church?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was very much like that. It was always there was always some kind of Christian lecture. I remember like probably one of my earliest memories was my sister is running away from my dad. She's probably 7, so that would make me, or maybe she was like 9 years old because we're like 7 years apart. I was probably like 2 or 3 when this happened. Anyway, she's running away from him, and he grabs her by the ankle and drags her back down the hallway. And he has a paddle, a wooden paddle, which he made himself,
Mm-hmm.
that he painted, named it Mr. Sadface. This was like a 2-inch thick paddle, and he broke it on her.
He broke it on her.
He broke it on her. Yes.
You know how hard you
And
have to hit somebody to break a 2-inch thick paddle
oh, yeah.
on
Yeah.
a baby girl?
Yeah. And so this was like, this is who my dad was. And I was like, you know, I only had like one friend in my school. And, I thought I was just being like, it was just like being like, guy friends, pushing each other, hitting each other, just messing around. But really, I was becoming a bully because
Mm-hmm.
my dad was a bully. Everything was always like just this. If you didn't agree with him, he would start yelling, and then there would be the threat of violence. He even talked about like, well, he made another paddle after that, and he was talking about drilling holes in the paddle, and so it's just, I'm very familiar with people that they act really nice. Like my mom would do this too. She would flip the switch. Like I would hear her talking on the phone, and she would be so sweet. She would be so nice to whoever she was talking to. Everybody said what a nice lady my mom was. But then as soon as she hangs up the phone,
Mm.
it completely changes. It's nothing but just venom. And so like growing up in this has, like, it's never left me. And with this Trump movement, with the Charlie Kirk thing, it just feels like the same people that hurt me are taking over
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm. Um, Ham are the men that they like to silence. I just want to say again, one, first of all, everybody thank y'all for, being transparent and coming here and sharing your stories too. We have to get to the root of this. First of all, getting it out and talking about it will always give you power. We understand that these are things that have been taught. Not everybody always makes it out. So I just want to say, and when I say make it out, not everybody realizes what just happened. Not everybody, not saying that you're just perfect now.
Yeah.
Not everybody realized that, hey, that's not right. I need to deconstruct. Some of them grow up to do the exact same thing to their children and the people around them. Hence why we have the MAGA here. And this is also to a testament and a realization that people will fake it in front of you for years and time, and like he say, hang up the phone and be venomous to their own children. So they're not going to necessarily give a fuck about other people's children. That's why they don't really care about the weapon laws or other people's children, because there are things that they are doing to their own children. And I want you guys to know, everybody up here, you guys are not even the first people to come up here. When I had the conversation about is white Christianity indoctrination of children, grooming mass unalivers. There were people who came up and said the same thing about the paddles with the holes in them, and breaking light bulbs, holding on to hot water heaters, the abuse in the name of religion. So you're not alone. But this is why, and I made a video about this. This is why segregation is needed, because when you hang out with others, it's hard to keep the propaganda and keep the lies going when you're hanging out with others. If Ham and Glitzy and Bree, who have all had similar stories, hang around each other, it'll be easy to think it's normal. when you're hanging around a bunch of other people, even from different classes. I ain't gonna say classes because each class do the same thing. I've heard the same on each class. But my mom, she wasn't having it. She can give us a look, and we know to just sit the fuck down, you know. But it was never really extreme. I was a good conversation and talking to. When you hang around other people who tell you it's not normal, then you're more likely to call CPS. Then you're more likely to speak out. But if you hang around people who are having the same experience, you're gonna start to feel like it's normal. A girl said that she would go to school and they would trade war stories. They would all just trade stories about how the abuse that they're having, and it's easy to think that it's normal. And then grow up and inflict that same pain onto your own children and the people around you. Because when you're filled with that much rage and hate, you either become a bully, you do it to your children, and you become sometimes a raging MAGA. Having a place and somebody to place the rage on, somebody to place the blame on, and why you're either not where you are, why, because sometimes for somebody who studied um, child development and family science and just human development, it's sometimes hard to put the blame on your parents. The love that a child has from a parent, the love that a child has from a parent for a parent is way deeper than the love that the parent has for the child. And the parent can do anything and then say, I'm sorry, or da da da. And most times the child will come back. They'll forgive them. And a lot of parents take advantage of that. And that is the saddest part about it. And then they don't want to blame them because you don't want to. It's hard to be like, you did me wrong. You treated me like this, but I still love you. And it's okay to still love the parent, but also be aware of what they did and love somebody from a distance if need be for your own safety. Um, Give me 1 second, Ham. I'm going to bring in Bree. Bree, welcome to the chat. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know you too. Thank y'all too for knocking out that goal. I'm just having I'm gonna have probably a bunch of one coin small goals because we have showed our ass in this the battles earlier. So yeah, I'll just probably have just like it'll be like 1,000, but it'll be one coins just so everybody can contribute if you want to. I thank y'all for being here for having this conversation. Thank you for all the love. I appreciate it. Hey Debbie, how you doing? How's my baby? Send me updates of the pictures. I think it's time for a good update of the baby. Okay. And kid, if you want to too, feel free, but there's no pressure because I know these conversations are deep. These conversations are rooted sometimes in a lot of trauma, but being able to talk about it and get out and get to the root of the problem is another way that we can help save America because there may be a few MAGAs who are listening and feel like they have to hold on to their rage and you do not. Um, Go ahead, Bree. How you doing?
I'm good. Where I was gonna ask you, you kind of know my backstory because it's pretty much like everyone else's, kind of. And we talked about like the church I was raised in and stuff. But we haven't really got to talk about where I started deconstructing. So do you want me to just go to that part?
Mm-hmm. That's
Okay,
fine.
that would have been college. That would have been college for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because up until then, I didn't have any exposure to anyone else outside of white people. I grew up in a pretty much all white town, went to an all white church, went to an all white school. I say all white. We had, by the time I was a sophomore, one black family had moved in.
Mm.
All my exposure, and that was rough. Looking back, I feel so bad for those kids and what they went through coming to that school
Mm.
because
All the other children,
they were
do you?
treated like show dogs.
They were what?
They were treated like show dogs.
Mm. So I know what state you're in. Like you see in Mississippi, the guy that they just found hanging from the tree, Trey
Yeah.
Reed. He said that he had called his family and said that they were kids would ride by in their truck and throw trash at them and call them the N word and things like that. Like were those type of things going on at the college you went to as well?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. And then the college I went to was more diverse, especially for being in the state I'm in. because we have the best like pharmaceutical to become like a pharmacist. We have the best program in the country,
Mm.
so people come for that. But it's still here. It's still in this place, and all the same people still live here. So that stuff still happens, and it was my roommate was Afro-Indigenous. And that was the first time I had ever gotten to be around someone in that kind of personal setting who wasn't white. And you remind me a lot of them. They were a lot like you on this level
Mm.
of if I did something, they weren't like, oh my God, and freaking out. They were like, hey, I don't know if you know this.
Mm-hmm.
I know you, I'm not from here, but I know you are. And I see how people around here, and she taught me so much. I was so sad whenever we weren't roommates the next year. Um, but because of her, I started deconstructing because she was able to, we were together so often because we were roommates that any little comments I would make
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't realize were racist.
Like the microaggressions and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. That I had no idea because, well, it's something that everyone around me always said. It's something my parents said on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I mean, but I also came from parents who taught me that the N word meant someone was ignorant. There's N words of every race because it just means you're ignorant. There's no historical anything to it. There's nothing like that. It just means you're ignorant. And they
And that's
wouldn't,
what your parents taught you?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Gotcha.
have a very vivid memory of my father telling me that because I questioned it. And
Did he ever call you the N-word when he felt
no,
like you were being ignorant?
no, because I made sure I wasn't because I
Mm-hmm.
saw how he treated people who he saw as ignorant.
Did he ever call people who weren't black ignorant? I mean, the N-word.
Yes, yes,
Okay. So that's what made you like, well, maybe that is what it means.
yes. That was the hard part for me because I was like, that's not what I've learned though. Like in history class, we're going over slavery and after 1865 and moving into the Jim Crow era, we're learning about all that right now. And that was not what that word was used for. And because I questioned it, all the repercussions of questioning the male authority figure in your life came on to me. And so I stopped questioning anything
Mm-hmm.
he said.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it took me until I got to college to be able to sit in that discomfort and really look into myself. And like you said, that love you have for, I mean, I still have, I would say I'm low contact with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's mainly on their side because I'm the type of person now that if they're like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm going out to protest this and this because you voted for this and won't deal with your racism. What are you doing? And make it an uncomfortable situation for them where they have to be like, oh my God, she's saying it again.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one will. And every time I do it, of course, I'm met with, I'm not racist. I had a black friend and doing the microaggressions and the racisms and the tokenizing and all the things. And my mom does the white woman tears. And then I'm told, you don't need to be so in my face about it. You just need to be nice about it. You need to tell me nicely I'm racist. And I've been deconstructing for over 10 years now. So I'm in the anger point with white people, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Where like, I can't coddle you anymore. I can't. Because like even in the beginning for me, I couldn't be coddled. I had to tell like I got to the point where I was like, please don't coddle me.
Yeah.
I don't want because for me it wasn't like and I think that's another hard part is that's because it's all tenets of white supremacy, and that's why I tell everybody like I don't feel you're truly deconstructing if you have not learned the tenets of white supremacy and are able to identify them in within yourself, like
Yeah.
truly identify them. And that the right to comfort, that was a big one for me. That was a big one for me that I had to step out of, and once I did, I refused to go back to it
Mm-hmm.
because I know once I do, I'll sit in it for way too long because it's nice to be there. It's a
Yeah.
very nice place to be,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't be there again. And then God, I was gonna say what was another one I was gonna say, but I forgot. But I get so angry with white people for that reason because I refuse to sit in those places And hyper individualism, that was the other one. It's always me, me, me. Well, I didn't vote for this. I voted because I wanted cheap groceries. Oh, well, I didn't know that was happening because I don't see that. I didn't ask my neighbor that. It's always just about themselves. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, when it came to deconstructing, I had the realization that I was harming others. And that was a big blow to me. That was like, I needed to get a therapist. I needed a deconstruction therapist. I have a lot of work to do because for me, it wasn't, oh my gosh, I'm a racist. It was, oh my God, I'm hurting people.
Yeah.
I go out into the world, and because of my whiteness and the whiteness I live in, I do harm to others. And I couldn't live like that. I couldn't do it, and I can't. And so I look at other people, especially like my parents, and I love them, and I'm like, you say you're so good, and you think you're so good, but you can't even see the harm you're doing because it's all about you.
Mm-hmm.
You. None of the world exists because it's not happening in your front yard. It's not happening to you. Even if it's happening to your own kid, you don't care because it's not happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that part, like once I got past that hyper individualism, I feel like that part of deconstruction was really whenever I was able to start taking off and really like the education side of it. Because you can't, the best way it was described to me, and this is what got me going on re-educating, was you can't just start reading books and throwing education on top of a house built on racism and white
Yes.
supremacy. All of that foundation's still there. You got to start tearing apart every bit of that and replacing it with this new education. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They go, well, I read the books. I'm good, right? Like, no, you're not. You got some education that's awesome. You have the right idea. But no. That's why one of my first questions I'll always ask people, what are the tenets of white supremacy?
Mm-hmm.
Even just one.
Can you
Because
tell
as
the
long as you
people
are
in
doing
here
that,
the tenets of white supremacy?
mm-hmm.
I
Oh, oh, sorry, excuse me.
bless you.
Oh, oh, okay. What'd you say?
I s- Hold on, and I want to pull them up. White supremacy. I'm like,
Oh yeah, you're gonna pull them up. Yes, I was
yes,
just gonna say I can go get my laptop and pull them up if I need to.
yes. I'm gonna
But
pull it up too.
that's a big part is you gotta know the tenets of white supremacy because if you don't know them, you can't identify the whiteness you're holding up, the
Mm-hmm.
white supremacy that you're going out into the world and perpetuating onto others.
Mm. Yes. Give me 1 second. Bree, can I thank you so much for being here. Kit,
Yeah,
I just wanted to bring
absolutely.
you in as well. How are you doing, Kit?
I'm okay. Oh, is my mic not working?
You'll say something now.
It takes some.
Oh, you're
Okay,
back. You're
someone
loud now. Yeah.
mute
Okay.
and
We can hear you
unmute. Yeah.
now.
Okay. I've always kind of wanted to be able to talk on this because I don't really know for myself because my story is kind of it's complicated
Mm-hmm.
because my family was mixed ethnicity and mixed races in my family. Very gosh,
You
it's a
can take
lot.
your
It's
time. You take your time because, like, again, these are the easiest conversations
yeah.
because it's like all of us doing shadow work and, together.
Yeah, like it's so much easier to do the logical parts of this where you're looking up, resources and books and reading things and learning things in history. That's the easy part. I think that the introspection is definitely harder. Um, but so I have a very large family, most of which are either Italian or Hispanic. But the Hispanic people in my family are either Ecuadorian, Honduran, or Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have a lot of cousins that are in danger in this current administration who could be those people that got pulled over and disappeared to some detention facility. And at the same time, these are still the people in my family that voted for this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was really young, my best friend to this day, um, is a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she's always been my best friend. We call each other sisters. We're both in our early 30s now. And when she started hanging out with me when we were about in fourth grade, she'd be around my family. I didn't have words to describe the things that they would say because my family acts really accepting because we
Mm.
seem like a very blended family. Like they have that pretense of like accepting everyone. But then I distinctly remember one of the times my uncle referring to how my friend was a really good person and yada yada, but then he called her a M word while complimenting her for being mixed, that I now learned was a slur that I didn't know when I was that young. I was like in fifth grade when
Oh
he
my
said
God.
this. And
Thank
it just,
you.
I didn't know what the word was, but I knew it felt weird that he would like
Mm-hmm.
compliment her and then say this word about her that I didn't understand.
Which is crazy. That
Yeah.
we gotta
And
trust our
then,
instincts, you guys. Gotta trust those instincts. They are telling you. They are telling you. My apologies, but go ahead.
oh no, not at all. So
The audio went
that's
back
a very
down.
distinct memory.
Oh,
Oh,
you back up. You
sorry.
back up
That's
now.
a yeah, that's a very distinct memory that I have. Is that, and then a lot of my family commenting on my best friend's hair a lot of the time because she grew up with just her white mom. So her white mom did her best, but she did not know how to take care of her or her sister's hair. So they were always
mm,
commenting on like the state of her hair, and I thought that was really weird too.
mm,
And I was like, why are you guys always talking about her hair? um, it was just these little things, and then hearing the things from just members of my family who would talk bad on black people, but they weren't white either.
mm. Cause you are hold on. Are your family, your mom and dad, they're Hispanic or
No,
white?
no, no. My mom and dad are white, so my mother is the youngest of 7 children.
Mm-hmm.
And all of my aunts all married either Ecuadorian, Honduran, or Mexican men. My mother's the only one that had a baby with a white man. So I'm absolutely part of the printer paper brigade.
Got you, no problem.
Yeah.
Are your
Um,
grandparents still alive?
so, no, both of
Okay.
my grandparents are passed away.
Rest in peace, they so okay, got you. My apologies. I just wanted to
Thank
know
you.
like any things that they even passed down to them. But my bad, go ahead.
My grandma's only odd thing, because I was very close to her when I was young, but her odd thing was with Romani people, but she didn't use that word.
Mm-hmm. They always use
um,
something else, right?
yeah. And when you're a kid, you just hear these words, and like for me, like I don't know why, but it did always hit me weird. Like it just, these words, these phrases, these ways people talked about other people just hit me really wrong. And my family always called me sensitive, and I was being over emotional, and shouldn't take things so seriously, and they're just words and nothing's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I always felt like it was, and I never let that go. And the most MAGA person in my family is one of my first cousins, Jimmy. Or sorry, I shouldn't say names. That's not even his actual name. This or nickname for him. So I guess that was fine. But he is not white passing by any means, and he now is to the point where he claims that he's just Italian. Completely doesn't even say that he's Mexican because he just wants so badly to not be who he is.
Hmm.
So I'm sorry, I'm all over the place because I've always wanted to sit and talk about this with someone that could maybe give me more insight on like all these things I grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
and these very odd, strange dynamics. And a lot of it, I know now the word for it is machismo culture, is a lot of what I was seeing with a lot of my cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'm sorry, I'm not even
No,
really
no, no,
answering the
you're
question. I'm
good.
just
Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. It's okay because I also too have
Mhm.
a a set of questions to ask, but I'm just thinking about the thing that superiority, are there things that they said that that made you feel like you maybe you're like, yeah, I guess the thing about her talking about her hair and calling her a slur in the same actual sentence. Somebody said, was that Bree? Was that you that said that you would have deconstructed a lot earlier if religion wasn't involved?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, I that's a good another thing why I touch on religion, because they're doing a lot of shit in the name of religion, which is an excuse.
Hmm.
And you tell little children they're gonna go to hell, they're gonna burn for all fucking eternity. I mean, you're telling children who believe that monsters are under their bed, they're gonna burn if they don't do this and they don't do that. And look, it's right here in the book. You must believe it. And then they take advantage of it and weaponize it against children. It's indoctrination, which is supposed to keep you in this mindset of being controlled as you continue to grow old. So you just lose your way. You don't succumb to who you are. Those voices that tell you this is not right. This is wrong. I don't want to do this. This doesn't feel right. Um, yeah.
Oh, that's the devil. That's the devil in you.
Yeah.
That's what we were told. That little voice in you, that's the devil trying to get you to disobey God.
Oh, yep. Exactly. Oh my God. Sorry, y'all. I got some babies make my degrees in family science, child development. I love the kids and the kids love me, and it's probably because I still have a childlike heart, because society I feel like society destroys children as we're talking about it right now.
Hmm.
They are so free and explorative and honest before we tell them what they can say, what's okay, what they can do, what they can't do, how to act, how to be, and whatnot. So yes, I think it's beautiful. She looks so precious. Okay, I love the kids. Michael, I just want you to know, you said most black women will never be married, so they are angry. They are married. And the ones that aren't don't want to be married, okay? I have 13 I have a big family. And all of the aunties, I think all but like two of their husbands have passed. And the one thing they say is, I'll never do that shit again. They don't want nobody else's son. They don't ever want to get married again. They don't want to do that shit. Okay? Okay? They don't want you. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Compliments. Compliments to Michael. Thank you for the compliments, Michael. We appreciate it. Guess what? Okay? Thank you. But yeah, the religion though. When it comes to religion, they are definitely the religion is definitely a thing that is to hold you tight to it. Cuz and then it's hard for you to pull away from your foundation. It's like you don't know, you're not standing on anything. You pretty much have to levitate in some type of way.
Hmm.
And you don't, because anytime you get lost, you revert to what your foundation. You revert to what you know as a child. You revert to your first teachings. But when they have hurt you and abused you and they taught you wrong, you have nothing to fall back on. And sometimes it makes you feel lost and it makes you just revert and just fall back into it. So again, all the people on the panel, I just want to say welcome in. Thank you for your transparency. Thank y'all for being here. And you know, I'm proud of you for doing the work. It's not easy. It's not the I'm home dance. Come on now. Welcome. Come on, Tanya. Welcome back. Um, so how have you examined your faith community might how have you examined how your faith community might have been influenced by white supremacy or colonialism? So I
I don't know.
do you feel
I've been away from the church so long.
do you feel like some type of nationalism or racism or white supremacy is intertwined with
Oh yeah.
the faith community? And then
Oh yeah.
yeah, So we can answer. I'll pull that from the bottom to the top because I know you haven't spoken in a minute. Glitzy, do you feel like as far as the faith community, is it intertwined with any type of nationalism, white supremacy, or racism as far as the
Oh
faith
yeah,
goes?
definitely. Yeah, when I was growing up, I always heard that the Bible said that you follow your country. You stand for your country. You follow the president, whoever that is, your leader. Um, it was all intertwined, like your nation and your religion. Like it said, the Bible said that, which
Did they
I
ever
have
tell you
not.
which scripture that was?
I don't know. I was about to say I pretty much stay away from the Bible ever since I was like young, so I have not went and looked up that exactly what it says. I just know that that was said a lot from the pulpit, that you stand with your country, like God wants you to honor your country and do this and this for your country. Like it's all wrapped up. And you always hear people say God, country, family, or however they say it.
Mm-hmm.
So God and country are always at the top,
Mm.
and it's always intertwined. And, I mean, even now, I know you hear it all the time that people are always talking about America and God and Christianity. And, like there are other countries out there. Why are we the supreme country? Also, when I was growing up, I always said, why are we the supreme race as white people?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we the ones that are so much better?
Mm-hmm. Did they ever
That didn't
answer
make
that
sense.
question?
No, just God meant for us to prosper on the earth in America.
Can you point me to that scripture?
There isn't one.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Just is you so you just made it up. And I think questions, they don't the part is they don't allow you to ask questions.
Yes.
Exactly. Like Bree was saying, you're punished for asking questions. And when they tell you, like I was always taught, don't ask questions. That's the devil putting those questions in your head. The devil is trying to talk to you and tell you, to ask things. And
Well, then how am I
God,
going to understand God if I don't
God
ask
gets
questions?
offended. Yeah, it offends God for you to ask a question.
Okay, y'all, I got a TT really quick, and then Saji, if you don't mind, you mind coming up really quick? And you're welcome to stay, of course. And me get a mod announcement. Hi, how you doing? Welcome home.
Hello, I finally made it home. I was like, no way they're doing a battle when I'm in the road.
But you still was holding it down, okay? You put
I
a
was
lot of
holding
threats
it
out
down.
there to put fire into people's ass. And then when I get back, I'm gonna continue the same question with him and Bree, and then I got a TT so bad. Thank you so much, Saji. I love you, baby.
I got you. All right, y'all. It says in the Bible and TikTok 4:16 that you guys gotta tap the you guys gotta tap, follow the host, send your team heart, share out to at least 3 of your friends, and give the biggest gift that you can afford, or else hellfire is promised. That's what the Bible says. Don't question it. But in all seriousness, I hear you, but guys, please do it. Please do it. Do all the things I just said. Jess is a wonderful host, beautiful person inside out, and she's always here for us through our ups and downs. No questions to be asked. Thank you. I'm not a white person, but I'll say I did hear that last part in church as well. I used to go to Catholic church, and they were like, if you ever have questions about the Bible, it's the devil and you'll go to hell. Remember what happened to Adam and Eve when they ate the apple?
Yes.
Yes, and it'll scare
How
you.
dare, can somebody block spooky in the chat? They said, can you show me that in the scripture? No, I'm just telling you, it says in TikTok 4:16 to share the live, tap the screen, and join the team heart gift. What do we got at the top? We got some roses happening. Send some roses. This is your, I don't even know how you say that in English. Su diezmo. How do they say that? Like
Say
what you
again.
give every Sunday?
Communion,
A tithe.
Tithe.
There you
tithes.
go. Your tide is at the top.
Tithing.
Listen, sometimes I got stupid ass humor. Okay, don't blame me. But it's at the middle, at the top of the screen. Someone said tide, like the ones people were popping in their mouth during C19.
No, it is a tithe with a th sound at the end. Yeah.
Okay, tide.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 10% of, they interpret it differently. Sometimes they say 10% of all you have, or 10% of your profit. Like if you have extra, then you give 10% of that. But I went to different churches that said different things.
Now, I always heard it was 10% of your paycheck. Like if you just got paid or if you got the same amount every time,
I
it would be
quoted some
10.
scripture just while you were gone.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué eres?
I said I quoted some scripture while you were gone.
Did any of them say that white is the superior race?
No,
Oh, okay, we still
I
can't
said it
find that
wasn't a.
one.
No, I said that it was on in the Bible on TikTok 416 that they had to tell the-
You know, I've read the Bible twice, and I'm still looking for that part. Just I'll let you know if I find it this
and I
third
told
time
them I would
through.
block them if
Thank
they
you.
asked any questions too about where in the scripture that was.
Need
Need
to
to get
get
AI on that.
AI on that. Okay. Okay, I forgot.
ChatGPT might know.
Okay, have you examined what are ways that you have examined how your faith community might have been influenced by white supremacy or colonialism? Ham.
So this is present in monotheistic religions. The core belief is usually, well, first there's like there can't be atonement without bloodshed. That's where the violence comes from. But then there's also that there's the hatred of outside groups, because you have to have someone to do that violence to, right? Like, so if you were not a Hebrew, you were a Gentile, so you're the enemy, you're wicked. That's why Abraham's other son Ishmael, you know Ishmael founded Islam. And so that's part of the hatred there, because they believe that he is a child of darkness. There's this language that's used, like Netanyahu is using right now, saying that the Palestinians are children of darkness, and the Israelis, his state, really, are children of the light. But
Is there a scripture that talks about the children of darkness?
Whenever Netanyahu says it, that's I'm not sure where he's getting that from. He's probably not quoting promised the land of milk and honey after leaving Egypt, that they believe that God has told them, go there, destroy all of them, and even like, and it's even in a cruel way. It's like lift their skirts up. There's a verse where it says to lift their skirts up, like to take them by force. And also, there are verses in the Bible, the King James Bible, that tell slaves to obey their masters. It says to obey your masters as you would obey God. And it's so easy. It's just hypocrisy just is allowed, because
Mm-hmm.
how can you say that slavery wasn't such a bad thing and they were only fighting for states' rights, and like now it's like, oh, DEI is a bad thing, and it's saying things like Charlie Kirk said that black people were better off as slaves.
Which is wild. Which is crazy as
Yes,
hell.
but
Which is
What?
it's a monotheistic thing. So like Islam does the same thing. There's all this hatred for for gay people, uh, for people that are just not like what you are. There's no like, you know, love your country. That's never spoken, never written, nothing like that. But there's always this: you are God's chosen people, and everybody else, they're the devil. If you're not serving God, you're serving the devil.
mm-hmm.
And so that makes it easy for them, because that's not human to them anymore. If you're the devil, and the devil does nothing but steal, kill, and destroy, then it makes it easy. You don't have to have a conscience when it comes to that. And so many people in this country don't have a conscience when it comes to children being unalived in huge numbers, not just in Gaza, but in our country, where school shootings are happening all the time. It's constant. Like we can't even keep up. And one like small thing I wanted to say about that, this is when I felt like I was really okay. I'm not safe around anybody that I know. This is what gave me this feeling. I went to school one day and they had everybody's backpacks turned out in the hallways. I was in the 7th grade. This was just after Columbine happened.
Sorry, Cam. Can I two things? Can I ask you to use TikTok friendly language, so we have to say on a live?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm
that
just
kind
so
of
used
stuff.
to talking about this in person.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty new to censoring myself. I'll do my
you're
best.
good. And I wanted to ask you, because I am a Muslim. I wanted to ask you. You said something about like it's the same in Islam. Which part?
Well, like take the word infidel. Um, what it says to how to treat the infidel.
Hold
There's
on.
like a version of that
Have you read the Quran?
I've read some of it, but I'm not versed in the Quran, but
Okay.
I'm very
Yeah.
familiar with the
So
Christian
it's
Bible, and I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same,
yeah.
but Abraham is the common link. And just my reading books by like Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins he doesn't only comment on Christianity. Christianity is the thing relevant to us in the States, really. And I
Yeah, because I'll tell you in the Quran for Islam, and I don't want to divert from Christianity, but it actually says like those who believe, right? So it does include like all Abrahamic religions, so it respects Christians and Jews, etc. Um, but it actually to the giving, right? Like where you said like it was 10%. In Islam, it's 2.5% of the wealth you have, like what you would give to charity to those in need, and that is after you take what you owe.
Okay.
Your mic is off, just and if you are below the amount or if you are poor, then you're not obligated to obviously give anything.
Right.
But we can go back to Christianity. I just wanted I just wanted to say that because
Okay. Yes.
it's a misconception, like where they only say that they only respect Muslims. That's not true. That's something that has
Well,
been pushed.
I think maybe something. So, are there mentions of witches, of sorcerers, like in the Christian Bible? You know, there's a verse, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live."
Really quick, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. That's why it's on sometimes and then it's off. I'm eating some everything pretzels. I love everything bagel, and I don't really like pretzels, but I do like everything pretzel because I like everything. Anyways, and it's crazy because I'm eating it with some tofutti cream cheese, which is vegan cream cheese. Because that dairy be
Oh,
trying to fuck people up. But let me do a quick reset, you guys. Give me a follow if you guys have not done so. Tap the screen. Let's share the live. New people in. Welcome in. Tonight's conversation is white people. What made you start deconstructing? We're getting down pretty much to the root of the things that you know white people are teaching their children, the experiences that white people are having as children and as they grow up, the type of racism that either the covert or the overt racism that are being taught, the type of abuse wrapped up in religion, the things that they are teaching them, the way that they are warping religion, warping and weaponizing abuse to children and or racism in the disguise of religion. For instance, Bree said that her parents told her that the N word does not mean is wasn't racial. It just mean that you were ignorant. And then seeing her father use it to not only black people but anybody that they felt ignorant and thinking that's what it meant and not even realizing that it was a racial slur until going to college. So, we're creating this safe space to be transparent and understanding why we are dealing what we are dealing with. This is not only rooted, but it's taught, and it's the different ways that it's being taught. So the people that are deconstructing, continuously deconstructing, they're here today being transparent and talking about the things that they have been taught, the experiences they had, how they have warped the religion against them, against the children, for them to manipulate them to think a certain way and be a certain way and take on the racism, and also to be able to educate if necessary, or just be able to have the conversation and the discourse, which I think also too is important. So again, thank you guys for being here. Thank y'all for being transparent, and thank you chat for also to uh receiving this information and creating this safe space and also educating at the same time. Each one teach one. Information is to be shared. So that is why we are all here, and I love y'all for being here. My bad. Bree and then Kat, as far as like different ways that faith has been weaponized into Christian, with or intertwined with white supremacy and racism and used against to like this is what you should believe.
I'm sorry, but could I just take a few more seconds to finish real quick?
Oh yeah, my apologies. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you're good.
Mhm.
So I came to school one day, and everybody's backpacks were turned out. I went to a Christian school, for anybody that like just joined. So it was a super Christian school, and our backpacks were all turned out. And then suddenly, I'm pulled into a room with two police officers, and I'm in there for 4 hours by myself without my parents knowing. The school gave them permission to do this, so I have no idea what's going on. This was right after Columbine, and so they have me for hours. They're trying to good cop bad cop me. Like, one of them is threatening me and the other one is just like, hey, I just want to you know just help us out and tell us somebody had left a threatening note. I eventually found out they left things of a certain caliber if you understand my meaning, from a pew pew. And so then after hours, I didn't give in. I didn't, because I didn't know anything. They started asking me, well, who'd you get cigarettes from, to try to find out who wrote the note. And so I never said anything because I didn't know what was going on. And then they pulled my friend in, and then he was like the prime suspect. And from a drawing that I actually did that was of the Grim Reaper, like it was just a plain image of the Grim Reaper as a drawing, they started to zoom in on him. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I went home that day and my parents were angry at me. They it was like that I had done something even though I hadn't done anything. And my friend, his parents were going to sue the school because he was questioned alone. And I realized that I was completely alone, that if my parents were told by somebody that I had done something, that I knew they were just going to throw me away. And there's this
Like,
this
if your parents feel
HBO.
like you did something wrong, they would just throw you to the wolves
Yes, like they thought that I was going to be a school pew pew person, you know, and
because you drew, just because of the drawing itself.
because of the drawing. And I also had CDs, and they were like metal CDs, like Korn and Marilyn Manson.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this HBO documentary called Paradise Lost, where these three teenagers were accused of killing young boys. And there's their whole basis of the case. Well, first they questioned a mentally challenged kid who was one of the suspects for like maybe 12 hours without his parents. And so they end up leading him and end up making him like confess. Like they feed him the whole story. And all three of these teenagers, they are now the prime suspects, or they're actually being charged with the murder of these young children. And they were targeted because they would wear Metallica t-shirts. And when I saw this, I realized what could have happened to me, because these three kids were falsely accused, and there was all this devil worship. They were saying that they were devil worshippers because of the black t-shirts, because one of the kids had read maybe the Satanic Bible. And so there was this huge push, and it was all about like the whole community in fear of the devil let these kids get locked away for a crime that they didn't commit. There was the only thing holding the case together was this false confession. And so like I realized that my parents could have, just thrown me away like that. Like if they had heard from a police officer or a teacher that I was, reading something they didn't like, listening to music they didn't like, then they would,
So,
they would just throw me away.
so basically, there's no unconditional love. Like, if they don't like something
Yes.
that you say, if you don't do what they say, they will throw you to the wolves.
Yes.
Oh, the love is very conditional in our households. Very conditional.
Well, do what
and
I
it's
say,
always
and as
about
I
the
do.
devil.
Yes.
That's what comes up like time after time, is the like, these people are of the devil. That's why it's so
Anybody that's
easy.
not like them is of the devil.
Yes, like so like in our current climate, gay people are the devil to people like my parents. Black people are the devil. Like my sister was riding with her husband next to a Black Lives Matter protest in our town, and he swerves and almost hits a man, and he says, "Oops, almost got one." And then they went viral for the video that they posted. They posted it themselves.
Thank you, Mother Patina. That was cute. I ain't gonna lie, that was cute. We needed a little.
But it's just
Hold on. Who did this? Who did this? Who swerved?
this was my sister. She was in the passenger seat, and her husband was driving. And so he was
I got you, Gracie.
egging them on. He was driving specifically where they were marching and getting really close to them, driving aggressively, and he nearly hit someone,
And
and
so
it
those are
went
the
viral.
wow, those are the things that happen when you don't deconstruct and allow it to take over you. Again,
Yeah,
that's why I say they want to keep us divided and segregated because if we fight, we can't see what they're doing. But then also too, when we're able to have conversation with one another, we can say, that's not normal, right? And it makes you just be like, okay, well, I don't have to live in all of this hate and rage. I can smile, I can enjoy. These people are not what they say, which is why they say a lot of people who go to college end up voting democratically or become more liberal because they meet different people of all walks of life and they're nothing like they were taught they were. They don't seem like the devil. They've been more loving to me than some of my family members. Uh, and then they begin to deconstruct and change their views. But Glitzy, I know you said you wanted to say something before you go. Go ahead, love.
Okay, I'm sorry. I've been writing stuff down as I was listening to everybody. And I just want to say, number one, my dad was very friendly with Black people in person, like always. I never understood how he could look a person in their face and be so nice and friendly and warm and greeting them and joking and laughing and then turn around and call them the N word and act like they were complete trash. I never got that. It didn't make sense. But he always did. It
And that's the
disgusted.
thing that I want people to understand. Like they'll act like they're your friend. They'll even maybe buy you a drink at the bar. They'll be happy and they will talk dog cat cash money shit behind your back at the house, but and hate the fuck out of you. But go ahead, Glitz.
Yeah, it made me sick to my stomach to watch that, you know? And I would always be like, those people just have no idea. But now, as I've heard, people talk, I know y'all do know. You know that people are talking shit behind your back. And even if just because they're nice to your face doesn't mean that they like you or respect you despite your race, because I always felt like, oh, that poor person thinks that they're friends, and that they have no idea that he is such a hateful person. But they knew. I really do think they knew. And like my dad's coworker, who he was always so friendly with, and she even now is just like jokes with them and everything when she sees them. But she's even said, "Oh, I knew exactly what he was saying about me behind my back."
Hmm.
So that, so yeah, that's one thing. Like when you learn and you become more aware and you realize, people aren't as unaware as you thought they were. I guess is the word.
Oh, they know. They know.
Right.
When they act like I'm
Right.
not racist, I don't think I'm. Oh, because you probably talk all that shit when you at the house by yourself. You
Yeah.
probably talk all that shit. Thank you,
But
thank
I
you.
was gonna say that when I was growing up, like I was taught that, even though slavery was a bad thing, the slaves were treated well. Most of them were pretty happy with where they were in life. They were treated pretty well. They were treated one of the family. So that's kind of what I was told, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, was it as bad as what we're taught it is, or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, Jess, have you watched that video of that white tea lady giving the tour at the plantation that ended up burning down?
I did see. I made a video about it burning down. It was just a video of me laughing. Mhm. Yeah, no
Yeah.
bullying
But
tonight, my shit.
they showed it. They showed the video of one of the ladies that used to give the tour there, and she was saying what Glitzy said. She was like, "Oh, they were giving water and fruit. Like this is what they were saying when they were giving people a tour. Like, bitch, are
Yeah,
you
and that's why
serious?
my
I
ancestors
need to put
burned
my
that shit
background.
down.
Like,
We never
mm-hmm.
taught the truth. Exactly, Gina. They
But I did. Are you asking them questions? Oh, so my bad.
Yeah, do you have a
I wanted
question?
to ask
Hold on really
Pam.
quick.
I wanted.
Lucy, did you say you had to leave,
Mhm.
love?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say one thing to him. He was talking about the paddle and everything. My dad's weapon of choice was a fly swatter.
A fly.
Oh,
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet that shit hurt.
Oh yeah. Once I had a mark of the entire fly swatter on my leg, on my whole thigh, the side of my thigh. You could see the square part. You could see the handle, the entire handle. It was like branded into my leg because he hit me so hard.
yeah.
Same with
That
like belt buckles and belts and stuff.
that also reminds me of one of my first days in school at the Christian school. They allowed corporal punishment there, and I was hit with a stick, with a thin stick. Here you call it a switch. Some parents would say go pick a switch, and you go pick some twig out of the backyard. And if it's not good enough, they send you back. Because they're like, oh, this one's not going to hurt enough. But like this was also contributing to my detaching from Christianity. Was I was in a lesson, one of my first days in school, and I was moving my legs a lot and just unknowingly. And the lesson that the teacher was teaching was that we choose what we do, that we choose, we choose good and bad. And so she told me to stop swinging my legs. I did. And then later I started swinging my legs again, not even knowing that it was happening. And then she asked me, why are you doing this? And to be a good student and a good, listener, I was like, well, because I chose to, because I thought that's what the answer that she wanted. So even if you give the answer that you want to some people, they just are going to be cruel. So they took me into the principal's office, pulled my pants down, and hit me with a stick.
A stick.
Yeah, they like it's a stick that's like, I mean, like it was sanded. It wasn't like what
Like a
I've
rod,
seen.
like a wooden
Like
rod.
yeah. So I've seen my friends get beat with sticks that they pull from the yard. That have
Hmm.
knots on them and stuff like this. This was and then they already had it there with them. They were prepared to do this. It was just like a perfectly circular, cinder, cylindrical shaped, stick that had a little bit of flex to it, so that they could really, uh, you know, get speed on it and hit you with it hard.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
And they,
Lucy. Oh, she got time. Okay, come on.
I'm sorry. I know my daughter's like blowing up my phone. She's working out of town this weekend. But yeah, they like preying on people who are weaker than them, and for them that's children. And like my dad he like broke my mom's arm once. He would beat her all the time, but I mean they just like to prey on weaker people, and children are easy. And
Mm-hmm.
this is a trigger warning, but I was SA'd by another child when I was young. And then when my
Mm.
dad found out, he got a hold of that child. And it was bad. It was really, really like he could have been taken to jail.
Mm. Because we don't play with that. I'm surprised that your dad did come out and do something. I don't know if it because he was trying to protect you, or another excuse to release anger, or both. But shout out to him for at least even doing something um for the essay. Was it older? We don't have to get into that.
He
Yeah.
was probably like 7 or 8, the
Ugh,
kid.
uh,
So little. And yeah, he was hitting him really hard. Saji. It was a
I'm not
very
laughing at you. I was looking at the comments or something else.
I was talking to my therapist about this because I finally because I never even could say those words until a few months ago that I was essayed out loud. Um, but I told her finally, and
Shout
I
out
was
to
telling her
you.
about,
Proud
like
of you.
him doing that, it only intensified my trauma because I had to watch it.
What he did to the other person.
Yeah. And I mean, it's always stuck with me. Like, it, it's a really bad memory for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and I think, I mean, he enjoyed hurting people. I remember once he kicked my cat and laughed. I mean, he just enjoyed hurting people, things, animals.
Righteous anger.
Some people are. But I was just going to say, as far as reconstructing, because I know that's what this is about, I was a social worker until I became disabled. So I saw a lot of bad situations as a social worker, and I think that really opened my eyes to understand like the cycle of poverty.
Hold on one second. When you said, hey, and I don't want to speak for you, but when you said righteous anger, you're saying that that's what they would call it, right?
Yes.
Not that you agree that it's righteous anger, but that's what they would call it.
Correct.
Right.
Yes, I didn't mean to insinuate that. It's just that
that's what the parents get. Because the thing that I'm talking about is what the parents taught them, what they would say to them, what they would instill in them, what they would teach them. So when he say righteous anger, he's saying like my parents would say, I can do it because it's righteous anger. So,
my dad would punish me. He would hit me, and then he would bring up something that he was reading in the Bible to justify it. And then one night he said, we all actually lived in the same room. I didn't have a room of my own when I was a child, and I heard him trying to do things to my mother at night, and I yelled at him to stop, because he was trying to force himself on her. And so he punished me for that. He hit me. And then he also said that I am your Lord. I am your Lord. You have to obey me. And everything that he is just centered around this, he thinks he's right in committing violence. And if you're of the devil, he's justified in that. If you're a sinner, he's justified in that. And it's really heavy in the South with the way they treat their children, and then the way they just kind of treat others in society is that they deserve it. They're sinners. It's just they think they're morally obligated to to inflict pain on those that they perceive to be the devil. It's just they're sick. They enjoy it.
Yeah, my parents literally made a joke where they would slap the back of their hand on their other hand and say discipline, and flip it around the other way with the palm and smack their hand and go abuse, saying this way is okay because it's discipline. This way with your hand is not because it's abuse. And it was a running joke that they constantly did.
And that shit is they think that shit's funny.
Because they think it's funny. They thought it was hilarious.
Right.
I mean, whenever they got the papers at the beginning of the year to sign for if the school could use corporal punishment against us, they would bring them around and go, look, I'm making sure you know I checked yes on your corporal punishment paper, like bragging, excited about it. That if we did anything wrong, we would get hit at school. And looking back, like, because I have a 5-year-old, and I look back and I don't understand it. I went through it, and I'm like, how could you do that to your own child? How?
And if they can do it to their own children,
what will they do to other people's kids?
Yeah, especially people that are not like them, that, they'll, like my parents would see, something on the TV about police brutality and would automatically, we're always on the police side, like in thinking like this person deserves this.
And, they should have just complied.
That, they would just
I heard that all the time.
Yes, just comply, and they would generalize and say that they're rioting, they're looting, they deserve this. They feel like they have an enemy, and that they need to punish that enemy. It's just like it's ingrained into it. It's easy for them. And I think a lot of that is because their parents did to them what my parents did to me. Um, they want to just inflict pain on other people the way that was done to them. And I think, and I just see that so much in like once I started, like really paying attention to the Black Lives Matter movement and just seeing and hearing just people that were around me, my family. I've cut my family off since 2015. Uh, they got really into Trump, and it's very racially motivated for them. It was so easy for them to latch on to Trump because of their belief that if you're a sinner, you're of the devil, you deserve this, you deserve you know the violence that's happening to you. It was like such a smooth transition that I saw my family go from like not speaking about black people in a negative way at all to every time even if a black child gets shot, like when Tamir Rice, I'm sorry, when Tamir Rice was pew pewed, they were not just apathetic, they were like joyous,
Mm.
like and like with Trayvon Martin, and it's just like a joke to them. It's like
Do you think
they're
it's
the
because
kind
of like the hate that they experience or just are filled with that they
I
uh
really I really see the correlation in all of the and I live in East Texas, the Bible Belt, and they a lot of these people, they think they're good people, but they don't care about human life, and I really see that rooted in what their pastors are telling them out of the King James Bible. Because like I could take the King James Bible and say some things that are attributed to Jesus that are actually from the Buddha or from Lord Krishna thousands of years before
Can I ask you a
Jesus.
question?
Yes.
What was your reaction when your sister told you that they had swerved into a crowd of black
Well,
people?
she didn't tell me. We had already stopped talking to them, and my wife found on Facebook the video and of him driving aggressively and swerving and almost hitting a black guy. It was because there was Black Lives Matter protests in our town, and he wanted to start things, and he's driving aggressively, and so my wife saw it, and then she saw that it blew up. It went viral, like hundreds of thousands of people were then they were photoshopping pictures of my sister and her family, and they put Obama's face on her baby. They put they were like black men putting themselves in as like over her husband. um my wife and I kind of got a kick of that out of that because we've been it's just so normal here for people to be hateful against black people, especially when they're trying to advocate for themselves against police brutality. And it's just we're so isolated here. We can't have an interaction in a store without like another white person coming up to us and being racist. And it's just like assumed that you are that way, you know.
mm.
And I understand why people, it's like I think it's safer to assume that a white person is racist because most of us are.
Did you
um
did you ever think about like passing out that hurt onto others since it was done onto you? Like, did you ever? Because we talk about this. Like, you had said like your parents thought that you were the one that wrote that thing at school and stuff like that. But did you ever like have those kind of sentiments that you had gone through that hurt by your family and you wanted
I've
to hurt? Mm-hmm.
I've been, it's like I'll never really heal from my childhood, and I really wanted to. Oh my God, there's an armadillo right next to me. um, I I it took a long time for me to actually cut off my parents because my sister has kids, and I wanted to show them kindness and just like I wanted to make sure that they didn't. My sisters, my mom and dad, they're all very cruel. They're 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 very cruel. So I wanted to be there for my niece and my nephews, but um, in trying to just hang out with them, I was like I was getting them together to play a game, Dungeons and Dragons, which is a storytelling board game. You basically create a character, and you fight.
Mm-hmm.
You fight a dragon and get treasure and stuff like that. And my nephews, they've never read a book, and they don't. They were made to read in class, but like it's just they were so far behind from where they had to be, and I felt like responsible for them to like, and my wife did too. So it took a while for us to actually cut out my family because of, I wanted to be there for my nephews, but that's actually just, it's not possible because of, they're around my family, and my family is going to impart in them their beliefs, and it's already started. My nephews are like of age now, they're like 18 and older now, and I'm sure they're all on this Charlie Kirk thing. And what I what I've really been doing since I was like 16 years old. I'm 37. Since I was 16, I would go up to like the coffee shop and I would just talk to people and just try to, you know, appeal to their reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of my who I thought were friends, they became
Enemies really quick.
Trump people. They started
Data.
to. So I had a friend who was he's
Hold on.
he's
I'm
white.
sorry. Give me 1 second because I do want to. Let me. Michelle, are you okay?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. Just Ham is smacking the worst parts of the what he is experiencing. So,
No, I mean that's what the conversation is for. We're talking about deconstructing. We're talking about the things that were taught what your parents believed. When did you start your deconstructing, Michelle?
2017, I think.
What
Yeah.
made you start to deconstruct?
Ooh, it was definitely Missouri. I forgot where it was, but they got me there.
What happened in Missouri? What happened in Missouri?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, my bad.
What happened in Missouri? Girl, Michelle, are you all right? Michelle, because you've been wilding out these past couple of live streams. Are you okay? What's going on? Are you
Yeah.
experiencing some trouble? Do you need to talk about it? What's happening with you?
Maybe I need to be down. I'm so sorry.
Me to be done with TikTok? Maybe you take some time off?
Exactly. I need to take some time off. I'm so sorry.
Are you okay? What's happening in your life? What is
A
making you
lot.
spaz out?
A lot.
Are you not knowing how to deal with it? Do you need to like talk about exactly what's going on? Sometimes talking about it makes you feel better. What is happening?
It happens. I'm okay.
What
You feel
happens?
alone. I feel alone. Uh, it feels hopeless right now. It's
Hold on
hard
one second.
to.
Hold on one second. Cause Michelle's been going through some things and I just wanna know like what is making you spaz out on everybody else? Michelle.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was, I guess. I'm sorry.
No, do you
Being inappropriate on everybody. My bad.
but why though? What's happening? Michelle, do you not want to talk about it? That's fine. I can just drop you down there. But I mean, we're providing
No?
a safe space. You know, there are people who care. We can see the difference in your behavior. So we're checking on you. Are you okay?
I am okay, but drop me down. Yes, thank you.
Kit, Bree and Kit, as far as the faith in the intertwined with some white supremacy and racism, did you want to add to that and then bring in Renee? Rick James,
Yeah, I
bitch.
was gonna say you can go first. You haven't got to talk as much, so you can go first if you would like.
Go ahead, Kit.
Thanks. First, Jessica, just so you know, the term spaz is ableist.
Oh, really? Thank you for that.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know.
What about wilding out?
That one, as far as I know, is not.
Okay, I'm gonna say
But I
wilding
know
out.
that
My apologies
spaz
out
was.
because it's never my intention to be ableist at anything. I just know that her behavior has changed, and and I see her, just coming at people, aggressively and differently than she normally would, that usually indicates either trauma or some things that are happening in your own life. And because you really ups company, you usually inflict that on other people. So just as somebody who's observant, I'm asking like your behavior is changing. What's wrong?
Yeah,
She
I,
had
I,
she
I
had said she
figured.
was gone for a couple days offline. She said she had some stuff going on, but I didn't really want to pry if she didn't want to talk about it. But it's okay, Michelle, to take more time offline, or if you have somebody that you can reach out to. That's why even though this is social media, people have made friendships and people they can, I've called just called me. Sometimes I call, whoever sometimes, has that emotional capability to have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because whatever you're going through, like, you don't have to do it by yourself,
I would agree.
you know?
I would agree.
Yeah, I knew
Um,
you were just checking on your friend. I just figured you would rather me tell you than not tell you.
yes, I always
Yeah.
will. Because don't let me go out looking crazy further. Alina, hey Alina, how you doing, love? How's life treating you? But yeah, go ahead, kid. I didn't forgot the question.
I remember. I've
Yes,
been
thank
listening to
you.
everybody else. Yeah. So as far as like white supremacy and stuff in or white supremacy and stuff inside of religion, my whole family is actually ethnically we're Ashkenazi Jewish, but I have most of my family either practices Christianity or Catholicism, and I didn't have necessarily a really big church going family, but I did always notice the difference between my family who said they were religious and the kind of hate they showed along with saying they were religious and they just cared about people. But you know, I didn't know vocabulary for queer people at all until I was far through middle school. And I think that that goes back to like purity culture, which in itself is from white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so much hate around like just the queer community in general. So I knew in first grade that I wasn't straight, but I didn't have words for it until middle school because I met
Right.
other kids that weren't straight. Um,
And they think
but
they're indoctrinating children. Maybe just allowing children to be able to identify themselves.
exactly, and I've said that so many times on so many panels when people are like, "Oh, you're teaching kids these things." I'm like, "Do you know how much better I would have felt about myself knowing that I wasn't broken, I wasn't wrong, nothing was like I was just another type of person." That would have been so much better than going through so many years of my life thinking that, something's broken in me is how it felt.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I will say that I went to Hebrew school for about a year when I was younger, and I'm a practicing pagan. I just want to say that, like, I'm not religiously Jewish, but I am ethnically Jewish. Um, but I remember in Hebrew school, it actually felt like a lot of love, which was very different from the Christian churches I did sometimes attend with my family, or even the Catholic ones. We just sang songs and drank grape juice and ate challah bread. Like, I that's actually like a positive experience that I had. It's the only one of the three that my family practiced that I had any good experience with. But I will say that hate, purity, culture, and anything that is different from you is wrong. Alternative culture is wrong. Whatever that alternative culture is, um, you don't talk about these things. These things are improper to talk about. Don't teach your children that different people exist because who would want to stop children from bullying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, there is there's Sephardic Jewish people, there's Ashkenazi Jewish people, and I always forget the third one.
Yeah, it's Sephardic, Ashkenazi, and Mizrahi, but
Yeah.
those are different ethnicities, which is why I say there's no such thing as like ethnically Jewish, but that's a whole other conversation because you know ethnicity is like where you're from. That's like saying you're Mexican, but your ethnicity is also something else. There's no like gene that says that you're Jewish, but again, that's another conversation. I don't want to get into that, but I will say a disclaimer: these are very important conversations, but these are also I know, Koya, I know. That's why I put in the chat. I'ma zip it. But what I'll say is these are very important conversations, but these are also very triggering conversations for some people. Whether you've been affected by them or been on the opposite end of them. So please reach out to someone after this. Don't just go to bed because,
Mm-hmm.
well, people might be, sharing their experiences. It might trigger something in someone else, and you could get depressed or angry or whatever it is. Reach out if you have a therapist. I think everybody should have a therapist in 2025. But reach out to a therapist or to a friend, talk about it, or journal about it. You know, that's
Yes.
it. That's my disclaimer.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna be slowly, rotating you guys out from the bottom to the top. Also, too, I know it so I can bring a couple of people in. I see you in the box as well. Ham. Also, too. Oh, I'm starting. Thank you so much for coming up. Any last words you want to add to us? Please stay in the comments as well. You're welcome back as well. Let me see your invite.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I just really needed to talk with some other people that get it. Because just this time, these recent events are getting. It's nonstop. It's compounding, and it just really sucks to not have somebody that is of like mind that is not, it's not so hateful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks for letting me talk, and yeah, I think I'm about to go to bed. So
Well,
you
good
guys
night.
have a
Thank you
good
so
night.
much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Try some coconuts for him in the chat. Thank you guys. These conversations aren't easy. Unpacking isn't easy. Realization
Hey,
isn't easy either. Welcome in, Dan, as well. I'll be to you in just a second. I'll shout out to Dan in the chat. Try some coconuts for Dan as well. Renee, first of all, shout out to the James Raid. Welcome in, everybody, for the James Raid. White people, what made you start deconstructing the racism, the indoctrination, the Christianity, the religion? What made you start deconstructing? What was it? How were you raised? What were you taught? And when did you realize this is some bullshit? Ain't nobody got time for that, you know? So yeah, W to coconuts in the chat for James. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Give me a follow if you have not done so. Tap the screen. Thank you guys for being here. Share the live with a friend or two. Share it to your story, repost it. And thank you all for being here. We're creating this safe space. This tonight is very hard conversation. This may not be what you're maybe used to. You're going to hear some things that are going to be wild, but we have to understand these are the ways that they were raised and what made them start thinking differently. So, yeah.
And also, Black women's labor isn't free.
Period.
And therapy isn't free, y'all. And we're gonna need some therapy, all of us. Upon this, I was
It was
like,
more
I'm
than
gonna come
I
to Jazz. I said, I'm gonna come to Jazz. This is always a very lighthearted,
And it was heavy as fuck when you got here.
heavy as hell. Heavy. I am sinking into my bed currently. I grabbed a
Time to
white
look.
candle, some sage, my lapis lazuli. So please gift our beautiful host, okay? Especially if you are deconstructed. And Dan does got the bingo.
I gotta look on the card to see if we bingoed already. Renee, welcome in. How are you doing today? It's always good to have you, love.
Hi, thank you. I appreciate that I got an invite to come to this. I didn't even know this was happening, but this is very cool. Oop, TikTok is telling me it's time to get off. Okay. Okay, so sorry, I missed a lot, but I'm not sure like if there's like a format for how.
Well, the
you want
question,
people to share.
no, I mean, we were just, well, one, if you know, I was just asking them how was faith intertwined with white supremacy or nationalism.
Mm,
But if you want, you may have said it before, but if you want to just kind of let you know, what is the thing that made you start deconstructing?
yeah, okay. Yes, definitely there was the overlap of white supremacy and evangelicalism, as I think is probably really common for everybody here. I have been in therapy for a long time, so I'm not planning on triggering anybody. Please let me know if I overstep that. But some things that let's see. I am about to be 43, and I think let's see. I grew up in the Pacific Northwest, and there are not a lot of Black people, other people of color. It's very white here. And I would say, like, I had friends, but they were, like a friend who was adopted from Korea, which that was the whole thing for her. I think I had one Black friend in middle school through high school, and she was maybe one of like 3 to 5. And I look back on that. I think I knew at the time, I was like, oh, that must be so hard. But I look back on that and think that was probably unbearable for her. Anyways, I would say maybe the one good thing that probably was a part of helping me deconstruct that I got from my family was probably from my mother and her mom, which was like an openness to diversity in lots of different forms, and like a warmth and like welcoming, which I think was really present in my mom's side of the family, and definitely the opposite of that in my dad's family. So I would say, I look back and I see that I, you know, had opportunities to be friends with people who didn't grow up the same way as me. In college, actually, my first roommate was Black, and she was a huge part of like poking holes in the things that I believed. And she was also a Christian, but her Christianity looked a little bit different than mine. I spent time with her family, and felt loved by her family, felt loved by her. I felt like I loved them as well. Like I loved her deeply. Yet there was something there. And it took time for me to realize, it's this feeling of thinking that you know better than everybody else, that that you have the one true way, you have all the answers, and that's fed to you through white supremacy and through evangelicalism. And as I've thought about it, I realized, sorry for all my ums. I'm gonna try not to. No, there it is. Okay. With the white supremacy, I really, especially on my dad's side of the family, I mean, it's everywhere, but I realized, like, as I had therapy and understood more about like boundaries and how boundaries are tied with empathy and respect, that that the hierarchy that is inherent in white supremacy meant that some people have power over you no matter what, and you're obligated to deny yourself and have no boundaries with them. So and so that's, like, you'll see,
Did that open the
you have to
door
have
for
manners to people. Sorry, what was that?
I would say that opened the door for people to either district or authority, like men or people you look up authority to disrespect you and not say anything.
Yes, and also seeing like abuse happening, and having my mother not stand up for us. Like my dad was abusive, but my mother, didn't do much about it. People in my family were abusive. It was, especially the women had a hard time like standing up for other people. It's just like very, like, a lot of weakness, no backbone, or like a sense of justice and standing up for people. It happened in the church. I think we had kind of talked about this a little bit on your last live, where I had shared, like, victims are getting no justice. Nobody is standing up for them, and people are getting away with it, and it's usually, white men. And so, yeah, this happened in my family, happened in the church, happened in like the community, just constantly. And I knew that bothered me. I also, as a neurodivergent person who, like, I'm pretty large framed, and I had like a lot of impulse control issues. I was not small in any way, and I was not valued for that, like in the church. And growing up and having a lot of my community
Thank you for the flowers. They said send some beautiful, colorful gifts to lighten up the mood, you guys. If you guys start feeling a little heavy, you can always send some bright, colorful gifts to make us feel better. And Gigi, thank you for the dono on the blue app that says thank you. I realize how hard this is for everyone, but it's a great breakdown from listening to MAGA all day. Thank you. You are beautiful. Thank you so much, my love. I appreciate it. Can we drop some coconuts in the chat for Gigi? I think that's Gigi, right? That's Gigi. I don't want to say their other name just in case it's not Gigi. But thank you, Gigi. I appreciate you. If not, thank you, G. Okay. Yeah, thank you, G. But go ahead. I'm sorry, my apologies. But yes,
Oh
thank y'all
no.
for the flowers. Thank you, LM. LM, you done showed your whole, y'all done showed your whole ass tonight. Okay, everybody that was in here for the battle earlier, I just want to say thank y'all again. Monique, Chrissy, James. I know he not in here now. Mel, Melanie the winner. So Cal Smitty, the other Mel, Shay, Taylor Twice, Gigi. Oh y'all, thank y'all so much. I love y'all. It's me. Okay, I didn't know if it was fine. Gina, thank you, Gina. Thank you so much. That was Gina. I didn't know if it was Gigi or Gina. But I didn't want to, Gina, thank you. So, just in case it wasn't your username. So drop some coconuts for Gina in the chat. Gina Capo, okay? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yes, yes, yes. But these conversations needed because we need to know. Y'all need to know this shit ain't normal. Okay. Two, and then I'm glad that's what everybody. I'm gonna tell you what a lot of you guys have had in common. A lot of deconstructing started in college. That's why they be like, I don't know what they're fucking teaching these kids in school because a lot of white people in these rural towns don't ever go anywhere. So they get engulfed in these beliefs and thinking that, and they have children and they force it upon them. And by the time they have children and never left anywhere, the rage has been building up over years. Then they listen to conservative radio, Fox News, things that tell you like, oh, it's black people and immigrants, so why you still sitting in that shitty town? It's black people, immigrants that you should be worried about that are, doing this and doing this and doing that, the other. And then when the children go off to school, they be like, what the fuck are they teaching? They become libs after they come because they are going to school with people that you have told them that they're this, that, and the other. And then they realize they're nothing like what you told them that they were. And then they begin to deconstruct because they begin to have conversations. They begin to see that it's all a lie. That's why they allegedly become more liberal. Some of them still are racist, but they still, begin to start voting democratically, So yeah. And give me 1 second, Renee. I also too want to bring in Crochet by Tani.
Yes, hi.
Yes, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here.
All right. So my story is different than everybody else's.
No problem. We're not always a monolith. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a trigger warning.
Uh-oh.
I was raised in the South, in Georgia, by extremely racist white people. My father could not read. My mother was a teenage bride at 16. So that's the start. But growing up, even at 3 and 4 and 5, I was not allowed to be around any Black people. And in our household, it was known and there was consequences for having Black people on the TV. That means no MTV, no VH1. I didn't even see Eddie Murphy's Raw till I was in my 20s. Do you know what a shame that is?
Oh, they was real racist.
real racist. All right. So I was raised with the belief that the only reason that Black people have what they have is because of literally welfare, unions, all of these things are why y'all had it, not of your own effort. Y'all didn't earn it. That was the thing. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was raised as white trash. My father is a crackhead. My mother is a recovering crackhead. But Black people are the problem in their eyes.
A rockhead. Say rockhead for TikTok.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies.
But so even as being rockheads, they still would say I'm better than Black people.
Because now, I don't know if I can say this. You can drop a 1 in the chat. In society, is there anything worse than white trash?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
No, ma'am.
So that is why white trash is racist. I'm just going to say it. And I grew up, we even made it to the suburbs. We made it out the trailer park and they were still racist. But it was because I was around Black people in my middle school that I was exposed to other people where they couldn't control that.
Because you got to go to school.
I was exactly. So one of my best friends, one of the first friends I had was Black. My best friend Jabari, love him to this day. and he helped me because the first time I went to his house, I'm like, oh shoot, you got everything better than me? Like everything. You got 2-ply toilet paper? We got the 1-ply. I'm like, seriously. I walked in there and I'm like, and I had to sit down with him and I'm like, let me ask you something.
They had
How
the
did y'all
one that
do this? And he's
dissolved
like,
in the toilets in the trailer.
You said what?
The toilet paper that they have for like the RV so that it dissolves in the toilet with a really bad sewage system.
Look, I mean, it's bad. It's bad. But there's another side to this. While I was also being raised, my parents were preppers before you had the name of preppers.
What's a prepper?
So
They're
people
waiting
waiting
for the
for the next
apocalypse.
Civil War.
Doomsday
Hold on.
preppers.
Oh, okay. Got you.
But specifically in my family, it was for the next Civil War.
Not
They
for
were
doomsday.
hoping for it,
To fight your own
waiting for
Americans.
it, praying for it, so they could have their power back. And that's just honest. So I deconstructed the first time I walked into a Black person's house. Let me go ahead and tell you how many of the other white people that are in here who have deconstructed, have your parents ever made it over a threshold of a person of color's home?
Yeah. So
They would have
everybody in
never
here,
made
did
it
y'all
or have been
parents ever
invited.
go to anybody Black people's house?
Yes.
No.
Yes, but I will say, looking back at it, while my mother did date a lot of Black men, now that I'm older and I've deconstructed more, I think that she was fetishizing Black men.
Because that's a thing too. And I don't know if that's a story for another day, but that's a thing too. White women fetishizing Black men either or for property ownership, their dominance, power. But those are some things too. But I want to come back to that in a second, and we'll gloss over it. But Bree, did your parents ever go to Black people's house?
No.
Yeah. Renee?
No. Whenever I say it was all white where I grew up, I mean all white until that one Black family moved in whenever I was a sophomore.
Renee?
I believe yes, but not often.
Were they forced to? Was it a choice? Like, hey, I'm going to my friend's house.
No, it was a choice. I talked about my mom, like when I knew that my roommate going to college was Black, my mom was like, oh, this is great. This is so exciting because this is gonna like grow you. This is a good thing. And so like that stands out to me looking back that she had that attitude. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. We can go. I do have more things to say, but I know I was going on for a really long time. But so come back to me later.
I got you. I got you. And two. Okay, so I'll let you finish crochet because some way people would go because of the things you were taught by your parents. So shout out to you for having even the thought to start deconstructing. Like they lied to me because some people will go to a Black person's house and see 2-ply paper and say, y'all stealing from the government. You're the reason why I don't have anything. You're this and you're this and you're this and the other. So what do you feel like made you not even like fall in that trap, but more so be like, this may not be real, what I've been taught?
Okay, this is me being fully accountable and honest.
Yes.
I was raised to be racist. I had racist ideologies. I actually asked this poor, I've apologized to her since. We're great. But I actually asked his mother, like, how did y'all get this? Like, what government program was it? And the look of I ain't never. I'm
The look
never
of,
gonna
I
see
know
that
you
look again
fucking
in my
lying
life.
on her face, right?
And she's an Islander too. Like, oh my God. I offended her in
You
so
almost
many
got cussed
different
out.
ways.
You almost got
I
cussed out.
look, I got cussed out with no words. I
That
absolutely
what?
got cussed out.
I know you fucking lying.
That's what black. That's what I said. A lot of black mamas don't even have to whoop you all the way. You know, they'll give you a look and you just know. That bitch, I just got cussed the fuck out then.
Look, I won't even cuss in a black woman's house. And I'm 35. I will cuss a storm up in my if you ever see my mama in her own front yard. Like I will cuss her up one side and down the other. But the important part is this: they are hoping for a civil war. And I was also raised off grid. We had a little cabin in the middle of the woods of Georgia. It was 2 hours outside of Atlanta. We had no running water. We hauled water. We had a 4-wall and a toilet seat outhouse. And I was taught to hunt, to fish, and to forage for when the grid went down. And so were all of my cousins. So were their children. So were my uncles. So were, and I have 15 aunts and uncles on one side and I got 12 on the other. And they each got a bunch of kids each. So we're talking right now 200 of my siblings, or not siblings, my family were raised in this way and also have these beliefs. I've been othered. I have been completely no contact with any of my family for over 10 years and in therapy. And I'm fine without them. I'm better without them. I'm honest. I'm better without them and with my therapist. And I've never been happier. But I also, I got complex PTSD from what I went through. I had to do the work, both deconstructing racism, deconstructing, white supremacy, colonialization, like that mental health is health, that I'm not the problem. It's the environment that I was raised in.
Yeah, that's why I say I know I've told the chat and I want you guys to know, because I know there are going to be some things that you guys have done that would seem fucked up or racist, but we understand y'all were raised to be racist. So we know there are going to be some racist things, and that's okay because we're having this deep conversation. So I just was prefacing that to say, you guys, like, you don't have to be like, I get, the shame or the embarrassment of like, damn, I can't believe I said that, but we get it. You were raised to be racist from birth, babe. So, and the deconstructing is happening. So we appreciate again the transparency. Go ahead, Saji. For sure.
Sorry. No, I just want to give the 2 disclaimers again because we have a lot more people in here. So first of all, I want to say thank you and shout out and sending all the love to the people of color in the chat, to Black and brown people listening. It is very hard to listen. Y'all missed the previous guest who I need to now go to therapy for. I will say, y'all, some of you guys that are up here on the panel now were in the chat having the same emotions I'm having. But these are important conversations to have. Just wanted to have this panel. So please show the host some love. This shit is deep. And also, if you are on the panel, thank you for sharing your deconstruction journey. And therapy is important. After this, don't just head to bed. Reach out to someone, reach out to a friend. A lot of the things that are being discussed are triggering. And so, if you feel a certain kind of way, reach out to someone. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. And show a lot of love to like in the mood up in here.
Show some love to the panel too. It's that hard to say some of these things, and especially in front of a room full of people that your parents have taught you to disrespect, to own up to a lot of things that you probably have done. And it's also to sharing your stories. Again, we know how a parent-child relationship can be, and how hard it is to leave community. Sometimes it results in leaving your parents, but again, I know, and I'm going to ask you before I ask Renee. I know a lot of the stories that I've gotten, they all also to another thing that they have in common is abuse in religion. So Renee and Tani, was there any abuse in the household? And you don't have to answer that if you don't feel comfortable talking about it either.
Yes, and it was multiple generations as well. It was a generational curse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, come on. Like he said, send colorful gifts to lighten up the mood. I appreciate it. Renee, what about you? And again, you know, if you don't feel, you know, comfortable enough to answer that question, you don't have to.
Oh, no, it's fine. Yeah, there was definitely abuse from my father and from his father in his family. I think my grandfather was also like inappropriate with women's bodies, including mine as a child. I wouldn't say essay, but it's something that came up even recently with my mother, and I'm really sorry. I hope this is okay. I will be quiet in just a second.
No, go ahead.
How I think about this is the hierarchical structures and how not allowing people to have boundaries creates that's a place ripe for abuse.
They're grooming the women to be the perfect victim, the perfect prey. I won't even say, because they don't see you guys as a victim, they see you as prey. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah, something, you're an accessory, you're something to be used, but also like in Christianity, it's the exact same thing. And then everyone is, you know, what happens when you're like bullies bully, abusers abuse. You're anyone who seems to have less power than you or is not as good as you, not doing things in the exact right way, then you are allowed to, you know, be abusive to them. But I was gonna say, my grandfather I don't even know exactly what it was. My mom wouldn't talk about it, but she was like, hey, did grandpa do XYZ to you when you were young? And I was like, yes. And she was like, I'm so sorry. She apologized to me as an adult because he was doing it to her like within the last 5 years or so. And I was like, Mom, what are you doing? She still went to family things with them. I cut them off in the mid 2010s. I haven't seen or spoken to them, my grandparents, but she was still doing things, and she would even say to me like, just fulfill your obligation. And I'm like, I don't have an obligation to them. Where's their obligation to me? And that's really what I'm trying to communicate, is like this feeling of how you feel, what you think, your perspective doesn't matter, because there's one way to be correct, to be a good Christian, to be a good citizen of America. There's one way, and you have to align to that. Otherwise, you get whatever you get. And you deserve abuse or whatever. You don't really get to have a say. Or so I think like that's where like respectability politics comes in from white people. Just this sense of like, no, we know the right way to do things and you're not doing it, and there's just no room for other perspectives or feelings or boundaries. Is not acceptable.
Do you guys were you guys fundamentalists?
Yes.
Baptists? So there was like a God, Father, white family, children, like a higher authority.
Yeah. We were non-denominational, but it did. I know that some of the pastors we had were, I think they were educated in the Southern Baptist, and like probably it was very conservative. Like we weren't allowed to clap in church. I know.
Born ass church.
I actually went to this amazing Black church for 7 years before I deconstructed from Christianity, and I was like, God, this is a relief. Just you can actually express yourself. It was very stifling. It was difficult to, like, my brother played drums in the church, and I remember one of the pastors who was he got really upset because this was like from the devil to have drums. So yeah, that's what it was like in the 90s and early 2000s.
I have a question, and it's kind of you already know how I deal with shit, especially when I'm feeling something. I deal with it in humor, but riddle me this, okay? How are white tea people not allowed to clap, but an AI projection of CK telling them that he's okay is fine? This is what I want to know, because
Okay.
please.
It goes on to kind of what Renee was saying and what Jessica was touching on with the religion. I was raised Southern Baptist, fire and brimstone Southern Baptist. And part of how we were raised and conditioned is women are infantilized.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
Yes. Y'all have to have
And they are on the level of children
Did y'all have to have
where
the
they
light
should be
voices
seen and
too?
not heard.
Did y'all have to have the light
Man,
voices too?
I was kicked out of church.
Yes. Same. I was kicked out
So
of church
didn't get
once
to that
because I
point.
wasn't acting feminine enough.
Wow. You were kicked out of church for not acting feminine enough?
Yep, I wasn't sitting properly. Apparently, I wasn't sitting up high enough. My legs weren't crossed in a feminine way, apparently, and I wasn't talking with a high end voice when talking to the men around me. And they talked to the pastor about it, and pastor said, "You can't be in here if you're not going to be a proper lady." I was 12.
They're setting children up. What up, Hector? They're setting children up to be. What happened? Oh, they're setting children up to be the perfect whores or just like
Victims.
human blow up dolls.
Yeah, that's what they want. They want you to go marry a man and not ever talk back, say no, nothing, to be the perfect maid, the perfect chauffeur, the perfect mother, and to never say no to your man, and to be. That's why as a kid, we were always taught to be seen and not heard. Because as wives, they wanted you to be seen and not heard.
Can I also add an extra disclaimer? And I think
Yeah, go ahead.
everybody on this panel will agree. This panel is for people to share their deconstruction journey, kind of what they went through, what to peep behind what's going on in a white tea household. However, and I think everybody on the panel will agree, it is not to excuse the behavior or the racism being perpetuated by the white tea community. I feel like I had to say that disclaimer.
Yeah, no
Does
problem.
everybody
Oh,
on
yeah,
this panel
absolutely not.
agree? Because it is just perspective that a lot of people are trying to gain. However, I will say, right, I believe and I know hopefully just you mute me. I
No,
believe
you're
a lot
good.
of communities can experience abuse. However, it still doesn't justify harm. And I think the reason why, even though we're trying to monitor the chat, et cetera, it's kind of like when you hear on the news, like the story of a pupil, right? Like no matter how traumatic their childhood would have been, what they ended up doing in the end is not justified by any of it, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm just sharing my my feelings on it. Just you can comment on that.
Did anybody up here vote for Trump?
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So we're talking to people who have started deconstructing at some point in their life, probably within the last 5-10 years. I think it's important not only for them who have children, but us. We need to know thy enemy. We need to know how they're indoctrinating their children. We need to know what the things that they say, the thing that trigger, the way that they are tricking them. Not only so even the people on the panel to be able to raise their children differently, to identify the same thing. We need to be able to identify it and work with some of those people. Now, I don't personally think, but you guys can let me know that they are we're not excusing any past behavior for sure. Thank you. That's smoking us for Hector in the chat. I don't think that they're like actively, intentionally engaging, continuously engaging and trying to hold up the white supremacy, but actively, continuously working on deconstructing the racism, the abuse, the therapy, and everything. And if I'm wrong, please change it. But we're again, like Saji said, we're not excusing anything that at all. But it is important to look back and go back and see what's happening. One, so we can change it in the future. Two, we'll know how to identify. Because another thing that a lot of you say, even though some of it's mothers, it's consistently at minimum the father being abusive, right? So we already know that white heterosexual, allegedly has heterosexual cis men are the danger in the what they're inflicting on their children and being able to identify these things. But yeah, I think it's very important to know. And then a lot of people, if you don't even talk about it or bring it up, you just go through life coasting like a hamster wheel, and you don't even think about it. So as they even are telling their stories, there are people in the chat that are now probably starting to unlock some memories like, oh, damn, maybe that is racist. Oh, maybe I do need to deconstruct. Start opening up your mind and know that it's not normal. Because if they're only hanging together and they're only staying in 10 buck motherfucking two and they're never leaving or never going to college, you're not really seeing that the people that your parents have told you they're this, and the other are not that. But now you get to identify with some people who are experiencing the same things that you are or you have, and how they have deconstructed and how it's been better for their life. Because if you think that you just grow up in hate and rage, you think that's normal. And you should know that you should be able to smile. You should know that there should be some joy in your the future. That is not fucking normal. You were abused and you deserve better. You might want to just start working on that. Okay? Dan, thank you so much for being here. The historian in the building. Welcome in. He's like, all right, it's my turn yet. It's your turn. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing fine, Jessica. It's good to have you.
Yes. I appreciate you for being here. Because these are the people we expect to hold their other white tea accountable, people accountable, their friends, their brothers, sisters, cousins, the conversations they have with your dad. Like, hey, we're distant, but if you're gonna call me, it's gonna get uncomfortable. Okay. Yes, Dan. Just go for what you know. Dan in the dark. Okay, right? That sounds like a movie. Dan in the dark. But yeah, go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
You're muted, Dan, if you don't know.
There we go. It should work now.
Mhm.
I mean, so compared to the other white people that have been up here, I have had a pretty privileged and normal growing up. I was in a pretty stable household. In terms of going over to black people's houses. I have black friends I went over to the houses ever since I was a little kid. I also have black neighbors that from my family's house, Fred and Etna Sanders. They were both Howard alums, worked in DC for years. I went over there, we go over to their house, we make them Thanksgiving turkeys. Even to this day, me and my dad still do that. We take care of their yard and everything else because they're obviously much older. Etna passed away a couple of years ago, and they had a daughter that had I don't know if it was ALS or some chronic disease, and she passed away a couple years before that. So I've always had a what me and my family have always been around black and brown communities in rural North Carolina. So I have not suffered any of the parental abuse that the other two ladies below me did. However, and I mentioned this before, I was essayed at the age of 8 by a babysitter. It was um, this was around the same time that race was being talked about, but not by my parents, but by my coaches and people as well. And this was kind of a moment in my life where my family was like, okay, we're not having like babysitters for you guys anymore. For context, this was a white tea woman. She was in high school. I don't think she was being intentional, but she came from an abusive background as well. This was not anybody of color or anything else. Um, my biggest moment of deconstruction was actually not even this. It was when I was in college. And that is when I had to start working in college to feed myself for a number of reasons. But essentially, I'd gotten to a point where I was living off nothing but like bread and protein powder for a couple of days. I started working. at the college coffee shop. And while I was working there, I would work the morning shifts. I'd wake up at like 6 o'clock, get to coffee shop at 7, and work till about 2, 3 o'clock. I would work with two black women, and they'd come in, they'd work our shift, and I got to know them over a couple of months. They would invite us over to their houses. I got to meet their kids. They'd host block parties. We'd do potluck, stuff like that. Um, they were kind of the biggest deconstruction radicalization of me because we would talk about, like, I'd ask them about their lives. We just talk about, like, hey, like, how your kids are doing. What are you doing this weekend? And what they told me, and this was really kind of like my radicalization at the time, from when, you know, my family did a good job raising me, but obviously, like, they have their own problematic views. Again, from the rural South, definitely have their own, like, biases, and their own, like, what's the word, um like uh, like racist stereotypes at times about people. But these two black women, and I can't remember their names, and I hate this because I worked with them almost 10 years ago now to the day. They told me essentially, like, they would say, we would go on breaks and stuff like that. I was like, okay, what? It's like, you guys pick up your kids, from school. What do you do after that? They're like, well, I'm gonna go work a second shift at my job. I'm like, what do you mean you work in a second shift? Like, yeah, like, I work this job, and I work. They do like nights at Wendy's and McDonald's, and then they said, and I'd work Burger King over the weekend. And I was like, y'all do 110, 120-hour weeks, and y'all got three kids, and you're taking them to school and taking care of them. And I'm like, yeah. And they just said it like it was the most, like, like, that was their life they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, okay, everything that I ever
Sorry.
Gesundheit,
Thank
bless
you.
you. Um, Gesundheit, bless you.
Thank you.
The Once I kind of learned that a lot of kind of
Thank
like
you.
any of the biases I was raised with or had from, like, the media I was exposed to, like, just
Oh my
washed
God.
away. And I was like, everything I everything that I was raised with, any sort of, like, biases, of racism that I had, were at that point confronted with the reality of, like, these two black women are doing everything they can to raise their kids. They are doing everything they can to work and provide for their lives. Every stereotype that has existed since the 80s and before in American
They
history,
didn't look lazy at
just
all, huh?
yeah. No, I mean, and this is the thing. Like, I never bought into this idea wholeheartedly, but being confronted with it so blatantly,
Mm-hmm.
and, like, being a part of their lives in the
Thank
short
you,
time that I
Ian.
was a very, I don't want to turn this into, like, a stereotype of, like the magical, like, black person. Like, they were just living, and they were just doing what they did, and
Mm-hmm.
I was the one that was like, okay, I knew most of this was bullshit, but all of this is bullshit about this. And that was really my, like, radicalization point, in politics. This is like 2015, 2016, um, before the election of 2016. So it really radicalized my politics in a way that, I don't think anything else could have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, and just knowing, like, how hard these women were, fighting to provide for their kids, and they didn't say any ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, like, during my time, I'd also be like, y'all take longer lunches, I'll cover you guys. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a big deal. Like, I would do, like, these small things, just not for, like, moral superiority. I'm not bringing this up for, like, grandstand. It's just like, in my mind, I'm like, y'all got it way more to do than I. I'm just a college student. Like, y'all take it, I'll be fine. Like, I'll just be on
Yeah.
the job. It doesn't matter as well. So yeah, that's kind of like the long and short of it as well. I just mentioned that part of the story because earlier on in my childhood, because, I've always been questioning. I never took it at face value, and that's
Mm-hmm.
partly because of the way my parents raised me. And then by the time I actually got into college, I was able to really, like, be like, about 10 years ago now, to be like, really get into that deconstructive in a way that you can't really get from, like, reading or even TikTok lives to some degree. Like, there's only so much you can do until you actually have to physically work and share similar spaces and get to know other people as people and their life
Mm-hmm.
stories. And you're like, everything you learn is bullshit.
And they hope you do the damage by then. Bree made a comment in the chat that said, yes, once you see the reality, it's when you decide if you're going to stay racist or you're going to start deconstructing. And Mallory, thank you so much for the dono on the green app that says, thank you for this discussion, Queen. Thank you so much, you guys. Yes. If you guys also too want to donate on the green or the blue app, it's I'm Jessica Cymone. You see here at the top. Feel free to add a message or just show some love. If you're enjoying the conversation or you're enjoying the space that we have, or anything about it, or you just want to support your girl, being here again, you guys. These conversations that's heavy, they are deep. It's really when you dig into the roots, say of a tree, it's gonna be hard to get down there. It's gonna be tough. You may have some blood, sweat, and tears. But if anybody needs to protect their energy, protect their mindset, if it's triggering, please, please, please feel free to do so. Okay, you guys? Please, please, please do so. Protecting your mindset is everything. And that could have been another thing with someone earlier. They could have been, the stories could have been triggering and not knowing how to necessarily respond to it, not knowing to necessarily have the, to say anything. But if you need to protect your energy, please, 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 please do so. I'm a big advocate for your mental health. Sometimes you're not always ready. Sometimes the things you say can be a little bit different, or triggering. So, and I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for being here. We try our best to cultivate this a safe space, right? But it's reality. It's reality. So in a time where a lot of white people saying racism don't exist or just stop talking about it, but yet the things that are happening and how they weaponize it against you from a child, just as soon as blanket training as a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
So yeah, go ahead.
Well, Jess, I was gonna add one more thing, and then I'm gonna drop because it is pretty late here.
Okay, and then after you, Kit, I saw you with your hand up too.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say is that I don't like it's no black or brown person's responsibility to deconstruct a white person or to help them do that. I don't want anybody to put that pressure on them, or it's like your
At all,
responsibility
and don't y'all
at all.
accept that neither. I just
Yeah,
want to. I'm curious. I want to know.
yeah,
It's
and
been deep. Just been deep. I'll say just been deep on this rabbit hole. She's been watching Keep Sweet,
Happy, shiny, happy people.
Shiny Happy
mm,
The
People.
family.
She's
and
been going through this. She's trying to get to the bottom of it. So
and I
we
want
love
to
her curiosity and her investigative mind, and also her ability to provide, a safe space to have these conversations. And she does say it's not, nobody is obligated to share, and nobody's obligated to listen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys, if you guys feel like Dayton is not getting 10% because he said he wants 10%. I said, no, you're trying to take back reparations. So if
and
y'all want to send your reparations, please do send them to Jess. It's I am Jessica Cymone.
Mm-hmm.
No A. I'm
Jessica Cymone.
Jessica.
But if you mess up and put I am Jessica Cymone, I own them both.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well,
Period.
I did.
You know what? One.
It was I am, but then you know how you run into the things with the Cash App. I had to open up the business one because again, when they be like, "Where your job at?" You at my job. Yeah, I have the business one so that we could be able to, bring them, be able to do so. So if you mess
That
up and
was
say
really
I
smart
am,
of
it's still
you.
me. Yeah, but
You know
I'm
why?
Jessica Cymone, you guys.
Let me share my story real quick. No, I'm just kidding. The air I signed up for Airy to get rewards from them, and the lady signed me up wrong. She put my name and she added an H in the wrong spot. So now I can never claim my point. And they can't change it at the store or over the phone. It's like this impossible thing. And no, I do not own the other email. So
Ain't that
I'm
a
like,
bitch?
maybe I should just start it. I know. I'm like, maybe I should just start because I used to shop out there a lot. But that was my little icebreaker. You guys can continue.
Yes, yeah. If you guys want to send any reparations, you can send them to I'm Jessica Cymone on the blue app that starts with the V, or the green art that starts with the C. You guys, I appreciate it.
yeah, and the only reason I say that and mention that, because I'll say this and drop and close off. The only reason I say that, Jess, is because obviously to give space to what you do and to acknowledge it, but also that my coworkers, they weren't trying to do that. They were just living their lives as they did, and not even unapologetically, just as we all do every day in life. I got to spend time with them outside of work, and they didn't do anything special. It was just like, you know, people being people does a lot of it on its own. I'm not saying that to goodness gracious, I almost did something there. I almost sent you like 6 grand there, Jess. I'm so
Yeah, you
sorry.
can send me 6 grand.
Like with what? With whose money? I got half a mil money here. I can send you six half mils. And that's the thing is that obviously I say everyone to protect their space first and foremost, but also for a lot of YT people, it's like all you have to do is like spend like 5 minutes around someone that's not like you, and it'll do most of the work for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't want, but your safety comes first above deconstruction.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Hold on, hold on. Thank you, Ted. This is for reparations, but also in all seriousness, Joseph Coconuts. I appreciate you, and I know I sound like a broken record for saying this, but thank you so much for what you do and providing a safe space for everyone. Thank you, Marks. Drop some coconuts for Marks. I appreciate you. She said, "Here got some reparations," but really, thank you. I appreciate you, Marks.
Yeah, I'm about to drop off, but I do want to say thank you.
Of
This is
course.
the first place I've ever been able to voice my story. And I know there's not many people out there that are willing to voice a story like mine because of how bad it is. But that's also what I needed, was to take accountability and go ahead and make that change. Because like you said, you have that path. Either you're gonna be racist or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And it really is that simple. And,
Yes.
I do apologize for anyone I triggered. I really do apologize, but I'm more than happy to, speak my truth and try to, if nothing else, warn about these things are out here in this day. I have a 19-year-old nephew that is out in the world trying to figure himself out right now. And with
Aww.
what's going on, I fear for him. I worry for him, but I still pray for him.
Yeah.
I can only do what I can do. But also his parents have chosen their path. So I can only do what I can do.
Okay.
But
Yeah, that's it.
I'm still gonna
We'll
try.
be talking about it tomorrow. Tomorrow, you guys, we've been live all week. Tomorrow we'll be having a break. Enjoy your Sunday. If you see me live, it'll probably be on somebody's panel, probably like Casos or somebody. If that, I'm probably gonna take a break tomorrow. It's Ratchet Sunday. I like to enjoy a little Ratchet TV. But all week next week we will be talking. We'll be having this conversation. It'll be a topic of the week. We usually hold a topic for at least roughly about the week, half the week or so. Except for Wednesday, we'll be doing We Are What's Left Wednesday, in which we'll be doing a live with one of the creators from We Are What's Left, you guys. So Smitty need to open a lot. I know, right? Hopefully, one of these Wednesdays, Smitty's going to be in here with us too. Go ahead, Kit. I know I saw your hand up. My apologies.
Oh no, you're great. Thank you. No, it was kind of something Saj was saying earlier about definitely not making excuses, and then I forgot the part that you said. Sorry, it's been a minute. I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Oh, it's okay.
But I think that one of the reasons that the abuse is so prevalent, and for me, mine's a little bit different because my egg donor was never necessarily religious, but she still was not taking care of her mental health and some pretty serious diagnoses that she does have, and just likes to pretend like she can just deal with things on her own. And I feel like part of the abuse, especially with people like me, who my family always called me out as being too sensitive, too emotional, this and that and the other, um, it's to keep our voices down. I'm 32 and I'm still working like in therapy on like confrontation and healthy confrontation, and that these things sometimes need to happen and big conversations need to happen. And because of the way that I was treated and dismissed and literally beat down as a child, finding my voice to combat people is still something I struggle with constantly. And I think that that's really true, like for anyone that grew up like this, obviously, but I think specifically, as everyone else was talking about, they really do it to women, or for myself, femme people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they tried to break your spirit, but you won't break my soul. That's why community is important. And it's like you want to tell them like, girl, there's so much better out here, but if you don't know better, you won't know to look for better, which is like in those fundamentalist IDLP, you can't have thank you. You guys can't have
Oh my God.
hey, thank you. Let's go. I appreciate it. Yes. The way to trigger the oh my God is if you drop any gift over 500 coins, it will automatically say, "Oh my God!" That's when it automatically do
Why
it.
didn't I see it? What did they send you? Nothing
Well,
showed
the
up on
thing
my
is,
screen.
she hit the roses. She hit them in a
Oh.
combo so many times that it amounted up to 500 coins, and that's what when it said, "Oh my God."
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't see nothing cute.
Yeah, because I the first time I that happened, I was like, I didn't say nothing. But then if they do, if you hit the combo up to 500 coins, it'll say it as well.
Can
So
somebody send a money gun? I want to see if it does it.
period. Yes,
Somebody
how does it do
send a
that?
galaxy. Okay, I want to see something.
Right. Let's see. I'm on TikTok
Let's
Studio,
see.
and you could set different sounds to
Oh
different
my
things.
God.
Hey!
There
Oh
we
my
go.
God.
Oh my God. Period. Oh, thank you, LM. Thank you, Melanie. Melanie. I'm never gonna get over that. That was so hilarious. Oh my God. Y'all, time was had last night. Time was had. I love y'all so much. I had such a good time with y'all last night. I woke up laughing about it again this morning. I was like, we had so much fun last night.
They're gonna give me a reputation though here, Jess, because I'm always
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Thank you. Drop some coconuts in the chat for the royal family. Y'all have acted up today, okay? We had Trump in the line. Hold on. Oh, we had Trump in here last night. We had Obama in here last night. We played plenty of games. We had such a good time. We must have had a key all night. Okay, you guys. I'm closing the what's that called? The guest box, you guys. We're about to get out of here. Let me get alarms. Last words, first words in, last words first, because you just got here. I appreciate you. And everybody, we gonna have a break tomorrow. We're gonna you know, and then we'll get back on it
Oh
Monday.
my God.
Come on. I wanna rock with you. I don't know why.
So
Thank you, Mark.
I grew up in a diversified family. My aunt and uncle had adopted 6 children. 3 of them were from the Philippines. 1 was from Vietnam, and 2 children that were African American. But the town that they brought them home to was not a very inclusive town.
So were they trying to set them up for failure?
I think that their heart was in the right place, but their whiteness forgot that these children might need, to have support systems in the area of them. And the town over is a very diverse town where I grew up. So I don't know how they didn't, have that, but this was also in the 70s, early 80s. So the Grand Dragon of a group was their fire chief. And I know this because my dad was on a fire department on a diversified side of our town, the town over. So I grew up with, my dad was very diverse. He was very open to, everyone. We take them at face value as far as how they are, how they treat you and how you treat them. You want to treat them like you want to be treated. So we were not ever taught racism, I would say, specifically from my dad. My mom would say things like, because I had a black guy that I was talking to. We were just very good friends, and he was my backup plan. We had a backup plan together of like, if we don't get married by 25, we're gonna marry each other. And my mom made comments of, society will never accept that. You'll never be accepted by society. what's weird about it is my middle brother's actually married to a person that's mixed. And my grandfather thought she was Greek, and the whole family just let him roll with it until the rehearsal dinner. And my grandpa looked around and saw her family coming in, and he goes, "Alex ain't black, is she?" Like,
Basically said, who are these niggas?
or Alex ain't Greek, is she? And so it was a very interesting night. But that's part of letting her.
Did they start treating them a certain way?
No. He just didn't like, my grandpa kind of was like out of it and didn't say much about anything at that point in time, because he was in his 80s and not kind of with it at that point. He was just kind of chilling with trying to keep up with everybody that was talking around him.
The person that was mixed, did she present as white, or did she present as white?
She does.
Okay.
She did like embrace her blackness when her half sisters started coming in around to her.
Thank you, LM. Thank you, Koya.
Mm-hmm. They actually started
knocking that out. She said, "Bitches, you ain't doing shit."
But the problem with that is that her sister-in-laws were trying to get access to her other sister, not her sister-in-laws, her half-sisters were trying to get access to her little sister, who is mentally handicapped, to take her over. And her black side of the family kind of disowned her mom and really didn't recognize them growing up. So she was not brought up with her black side of the family around her cousins,
my God.
but her white side of her family.
Let's go. Thank you. Drop some coconuts in the chat for LM, y'all. We only need 50 more. Okay, somebody help her out. Not LM, you have LM, Monique. Y'all done acted the ass on this goddamn battle today. And SoCal Smitty, Melanie the winner, Melanie Hector, Oya Taylor twice, Koya Taylor twice. But yeah, y'all, come on. Teamwork makes the dream work. The rest of us, we can go and knock that out. Thank you, Raven.
And
thank you. But go ahead.
Sorry,
Hey,
I grew up in a diverse area, but we were sent to a Lutheran school because the school system, my parents wanted us to have a firm foundation, and the church pushed, we have this school that's attached to our church. So I had 13 kids that I graduated in 8th grade, and we started out with maybe 20 when we were in preschool and kindergarten. I had one or two people of color that would come in and out throughout the years, every year, school year. But I had one friend that I grew up with and are still friends with today that, and she's black. She and her mom have taught me a lot. And I think it's funny too, because she had broken her oven, or her oven broke, and she had to cook something for a family reunion. And my mom didn't know what chitlins were. And so my mom didn't understand.
But hold on, them chitlins smell like straight fucking ass. I want to say that. We did it, Joe. Can I get some coconuts in the chat? W Royal Family.
Oh my God.
Hey! My number one shooter. Period. Do you swear to be the Royal Family from this day on? So help you God. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it
Drop
was
some coconuts. Thank you.
So I would talk with my friend's mom a lot about things that stressed me or worried me. And I think she did it in response to my mom's comment about not being accepted by society. So I think it was a great timing. It kind of happened around that time. And my mom didn't know I had talked to my friend's mom about that. In high school, I went from a class of 18 8th graders to a class of over 600 freshmen. And our school our school line divides were by gang diversity, because we had a big issue in my city growing up. And I had, so we had people that were bussed over from a strong concentrated gang area to keep them from rival gangs that were at the other high school. And with that, I got to meet new people, got to learn more. I joined the gospel choir. And I kind of got some different feelings from people about that. Because you can see my picture, I'm very lacking of any color. My hair won't even hold color if I try to get the gray out. It's frustrating. So like they had it where we had black and white. They dressed in black in white dresses, the girls did, and they had me dressed in a black dress. Or you know, they were having a soul food dinner and they're like, oh, she can bring the cornbread, that's easy enough for her.
Hold up.
That's what they're saying to you.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Because you what?
Because I was white, it would be easy for me to bring the cornbread because other soul food would be hard for me to make. Not to mention that I do have friends that I could have gotten and learned from, and it would have been a good learning opportunity if I needed help. And I did, you know, I would have asked for it. I also had
you put sugar in your, what kind of cornbread you make?
Honey cornbread. They were kind of shocked.
Is it sweet?
Mm-hmm.
Because some people be making hot water cornbread, and I don't like hot water cornbread either.
That was
what I was thinking too, Kat.
So that was my Grandma Grace Jiffy mix with water. That's not it. So I did reach out to my friend Kay and I said, hey, I want to make the best damn cornbread and I want to shock them. I also made one that had some jalapenos and cheddar on top. So they, you know, I had comments like that, or I had someone say that I was just joining gospel choir to steal their men, and that had nothing to do with it. I liked the song. My favorite song is Melodies from Heaven.
Melodies from Heaven.
And so I loved just having that diversity. But so my dad's boss saw my dad at the gospel concert, and right after we had the soul food picnic, and he looked at my dad and said, "What are you doing here, Frank?" And he's like, "You'll see." And then when I came out, he just busted up laughing. His boss said, "I will never forget that." He's like, "Your daughter is spunk." But what cracks me up about it is, so I did grow up in diversified, but I had my mom say things like that. My grandpa say things as kids like, "You don't want to be like that person," or da 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 da. And in that area, there is sun lacking at night, towns people don't want to be in that surrounding area. One of them was made was made very public a couple of years ago because of a college student and very questionable circumstances surrounding his unalivement, trying to be TikTok friendly.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating because I wasn't taught this way. My brothers weren't taught this way. I moved away to go to college. My brothers didn't. My parents moved and followed
here, y'all.
Which is funny because my dad actually helped his neighbor get his citizenship, and he was from Ghana. And so my dad is this very pale-complected person, and he's driving around his friend who had a name that you couldn't pronounce. So he just had numbers that you would say, and it was close to how it was pronounced.
I'm very confused. What is happening?
Are we okay? So yeah, because I think a lot of people are just a little bit confused. Are we talking about when you started to deconstruct?
Yes. I started deconstructing in high school, but then when I went to college, I even further. My brothers didn't. My brothers haven't changed their mindsets, and they are in a different viewpoint than I am, even with my sister-in-law, who's mixed, who doesn't accept part of her race.
So what was the incident that happened that made you say, I have to deconstruct?
I will say when I went to high school. And
thank you, Hector.
Hector, you better come back up here right now. Right now.
Go get us in the chat for Hector, y'all.
Because listen, just you know, I gotta keep ¿Quieres que le diga? ¿Quién le dice? Yo le digo, ¿quién le dice? It sounds.
How do I
Listen, I'm
pronounce
gonna be
Mexico?
brutally honest, okay? Because like, have you ever watched American Idol or like America's Got Talent? And like, there's multiple people there, and then one's like, I love it, and then the other one's like, I feel like I will use my tweezers, okay? I feel like there still needs to be more deconstruction happening. I will say it this way. Because I feel like I heard a lot of tokenization. I'm trying to be very nice.
I'm trying to also be TikTok friendly, and I don't know what I can and can't say, and I don't want any.
Because y'all have seen me in other panels.
Yeah, I think the confusion was like I don't know how we got on. They didn't get on the soul food or the I don't know.
I heard the favorite. Yeah, like I heard the favorite. Hold on, let me tell you. If you're truly wanting to deconstruct, I felt like I heard favorite rappers, favorite black food.
Rappers or black food.
Hold on. You said your family was from Uganda. Go ahead, Heather.
Can I hop in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alarm. I don't know what the rest of your name is because it just drops off. But the point of this live is to talk about the steps that you took to deconstruct. It's not necessarily about going into your whole history of all the different things that shocked you to the point of deconstruction. We want to know what you did and what exactly made you start to work on yourself and deconstruct your internal racism. That's the point. So I think we just want you to kind of get to that point at this point. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, sorry.
Jess, you can drop me down.
I got you.
So I would have to say it was when I started high school and met different people that weren't like me because, we did have some diversity, but I went to a private school where we had very limited diversity in my grade school. So when I got to high school, I got to see people.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You weren't here last night, but y'all said new Melanie ain't playing no games, but it's the new Melanie for me because there used to be. You had to be here last night. New Melanie just fucking sent me. I couldn't even hold that in. It was the new Melanie. New Melanie. Sorry, we were here last night. We was playing a bunch of games, and it was an inside joke. Everybody, put a 1 in the chat if you was here last night.
I got the inside joke. I left on mute and then unmuted. I think it's because we're hearing a lot. It's like, okay, I'll try to say a different analogy. It's like we got a lot of bread, but not enough ham in this sandwich story. Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've heard a lot of the backstory, the favorite song, the favorite food, the family from Ghana, but like we haven't heard like when was the pivotal moment that made you be like, hey, something's wrong here. Let me figure out what's wrong and let me change. Like, let me separate myself and have less caucasity.
Oh my God!
I would say that as
thank you, baby.
Comments to me like that, I was recognizing
somebody.
That
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Someone said. Someone put the PIV in capital letters. They're mocking me in the comments, bro. I'm really trying hard.
Y'all cutting up in these comments. Y'all, we trying to have a serious conversation. They said, bitch, it's been heavy all night, bitch. I need a little bit of laughter. I need a little bit of...
It's when I had that coming to me and that basis of saying, oh, that's something easy she can make, or that's what's expected of her. It was me.
Okay, hold on. Can I jump in? I'm sorry.
I was doing it to others and thinking it about others, and that is how I was raised.
We've heard the history. We get the history. We get that this has been happening to you. Totally understood. That's completely 100% understood. The thing that we want to know is what exactly you've done. What are the actions that you've taken to deconstruct your own racism? Not that you decided to deconstruct, not that you realize that you were living in racism. None of that. We want to know what are the steps that you personally have taken. No more history, no more none of that. We just want to know what the steps are that you have taken to deconstruct your own racism. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
So I've tried to think before I say anything and think more too of how would I feel if this happened to me and humanize things a lot more, because I had a hard time with some of the things that would pop out of my mouth without thinking because of how I was raised. So I have been retraining or rethinking since I was younger on, I want to have treatment to me like I would want anyone else treated, and I would only want to treat others how I would want to be treated. Number one. Number two, I've noticed that I've had, like I said, different backgrounds and upbringing, so everybody else brings something to the table and that we each can learn something from another party. Like tonight I learned some things that you had said to me of, I didn't realize that was not necessarily deconstruction, but like I was trying to explain how I was seeing things. I stopped putting it as me as I've gotten older and looked at other people. I've spoken up. I've gone to marches. I've spoken up when false narratives have been raised and said, what would you say as a parent or as a child if this happened?
I think that's all great. I think that we all have work to do for the rest of our lives, right? Mm-hmm. Like if we are YT people, we are inherently racist. We live in a very racist society, right? So I think kind of maybe we go to the next speaker. I think that's great. Alarm, keep doing the work, read the books, have the conversations, listen, keyword listen, and keep doing what you're doing, and thumbs up. Okay.
And it's 50, y'all.
Shout out to Heather. Heather, a real one.
Listen, I'm trying.
Hold on, Melanie, the winner.
Listen, I could be Sajida the winner right now, okay? I could be the gold buzzer. Y'all know I can.
Don't make me change it next week, Saji. 6 more days. I can change it.
No, listen, I'm about to be Sajida the gold buzzer because listen, baby. Have you ever gone to that town?
Oh, shout out to Frank! Thank you.
Oh my Lord.
Don't worry, Ann. We got you already, okay? We got you. She said, baby, we got you.
Listen, you ever been to that town? And there's like that one road with the traffic cones, and they've been saying they're about to pave that damn road, but it's been like 5 years and people just learned to drive around the block. That's what that felt like. The deconstruction was not in the room and the building and the block and the city and the town and the state or in the country with us. I was, girl, please. Even Dayton said in the comments that there was a united council, like not the united member, like girl, the song, like
no. You know what
please.
I thought about? I thought about Mean Girls. She doesn't even go here. Go to the school? No, I just have a lot of feelings. Yeah, that's what it gave. I just have a lot of feelings.
It's a lot of moving parts when you're the host, right? There's the Discord, there's pulling up any sites, there's replying to the comments, it's resetting the gift code, it's listening to the conversation, it's people like check your messages. So there's a lot of moving parts. So sometimes I'm checking on the YouTube. So sometimes I kind of like in and out. But then I came back and I was like, you can bring the cornbread. And I'm like, but I'm particular about my cornbread too. So I'm like, who told you that? She was like, yeah, why would they tell me that? I'm like, is this the topic that I'm talking about? Maybe I got lost in translation a little bit.
You got lost in translation for sure. Because she said she consulted her Black friend to teach her how to cook the best cornbread for her family. And I just, oh my God.
I recognized it and was trying to figure out how to make change. I opened up to many friends. Well, you know what? Alarm. We're going to be continuing this conversation all next week. So And we want to know, just just so we're clear. I didn't get it because what I heard when I was kind of tuning back in, he was like, they told me you can make the cornbread. They seem like that's something good enough for you to make. And if we're having a potluck and with this, just like they have the joke about the raisins and the potatoes, that's what I'm like. I mean, are they lying? You can give it somebody to come with the recipe, but there's a certain type of soul and love and something that's in soul food, particularly. So, and there's even when you get there, even some of the people that cook when you get there, y'all don't know this, y'all may know this. They be like, who made the mashed potatoes? Or who made that mac and cheese? Still gotta ask whenever we get there. So, when I heard, oh, is that you who made the cornbread? They said, I know you and correct me if I'm wrong while you down there, you said you may have felt offended that they said you could just bring the cornbread. I mean, they ain't gonna want you just really fuck up the potluck, and they don't want you to feel bad and see your dish sitting in there the whole time and nobody touched anything. You know what I mean?
Because was his friend paid for their assistance? Because I know y'all don't walk up to Martha Stewart and ask her for her recipe for free. Like, and listen, let's recap. We've had a lot of conversation. We've even talked about people's toilet paper ply. Like we've been here, we've been very attentive and listening, but I feel like where we had most of the white tea people in the comments even being like, is this girl, like, is she for real? Like, is this the, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't
we can't hear you. Somebody had.
I said I don't want no cat hair cornbread. Thank you.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I think that because the panel and the comments were so accepting or receptive to the other people's stories and stuff, I think she just felt really comfortable and wanted to be accepted and just felt like she had completely deconstructed, like to where she can tell these little anecdotal stories and everybody's going to be like, oh yeah, but it got lost.
I invite you anywhere and you aren't Black. Bring cups, the red Dixie cups. You can get blue ones too if they ain't got the red ones.
Plastic cutlery. Bring
ice. Bring the paper plates. Dixie, we need hard plates.
Hold up. Who the fuck said bring ice? Who said bring ice with you?
Bring liquor.
Bring ice. You can bring a pack of Hawaiian rolls. I saw that in the chat. Don't and you know what else you can bring with you? Anybody want to guess what they can bring?
I was trying to make a self-deprecating joke about ice.
You can bring. You can.
Oh. I'm hollering. I just got it.
You don't need to bring them to the Black cookout. Additionally, you can bring something that pours. That's not water. Cases of water or soda. But most importantly, bring you a large pan of shutting the fuck up when Black folks talking. Bring that,
James.
I'd love for you to bring.
James, we've had a really. We've had a hard. Different. We had a really. It's been.
You know what?
Energy. I can go. I'm gonna wait on my food. I started saying.
I love you,
James. See, James is giving a part of that messy debate talk side that he's also like contributed to. Because I'm gonna be honest, if she came from the side that I'm from, like. Janti's family, she would have got ate up. What she getting now is nothing compared to what she.
And listen, if you come at me on a different panel, again, I won't be Melanie the winner. I'll be Sajid of the Gold Budget. Okay, okay, please. Because the way she said she put jalapenos in her cornbread as well, and she like paused. I know she looked down on my box. Okay,
it was the water and the cornbread for me.
I know. You're not telling me to go eat my Jello cup and go to sleep.
Not Jello cup. Not the Jello cup. Are you trying to say that you insinuating that we insinuating that you're an old man?
Are you insinuating that I'm insinuating that you insinuating that I'm insinuating? that I'm an old man?
Maybe.
Question. I am, but guess what? Guess what I'll do? I'll drink everybody here.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. One day we'll have to go. We'll have to go round for round.
Who?
No,
Now, you
no.
already know. You already. One day. Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten?
Baby, have you forgotten? Even afterwards, you was able to go to
That you
bed.
woke
I
up at
got. I
4
got on. I got. I don't even know if I should say that on there. Just know.
But
Just
you got
know.
up at 4 o'clock the next day, though. That's all I remember. You got up
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock. I was up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
talking
because
about
you
what
could
y'all
just
want
go
for
to sleep.
breakfast.
I had to go. I had to roll out and
Oh,
get
I
on
forgot about
the.
that.
Yeah, y'all forget about that part that I can still do, and that take over an hour to do.
Okay, so this is my last comment, and I'm gonna go get off the panel because I feel like I've disrupted the energy. But I just wanted to say I don't want cat hair. I don't like cat hair cornbread. Dog mouth kisses. However, if you're here, please tap the screen to 250K likes because Jessica deserves it. In addition to that, make sure that you're gifting her. If you haven't hit those little links in her bio, go on ahead and send her $100. She's trying to raise $100, and if 20 of you all send $100, she'll meet the goal.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love girl math. Okay.
In addition to that, go on ahead and follow her if you're not. Grab that daily heartbeat, and I'm about to go downstairs and get my ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Okay, be careful. I love you. Don't let them get your booty cat down there. Bye.
And if y'all talk about me when I leave, I'll know.
Did you hear James? Did you hear what he said?
I wanted to
Okay.
add to the cat hair cornbread. I also don't want any kitchen sink mac and cheese.
Oh, I've seen them videos. That shit was fucking
Oh my
disgusting. And that's
lord.
another. Oh, you know what? And I'm gonna let her know. Hold on, Kat. I seen your hand up. I'm gonna get Kit's last words, then Renee's, then Breeze, and then Elusive D and Saji. And I also want to say something like to alarm. That's another thing. If we watching videos of y'all making macaroni and cheese in the sink, and we know there's been a lot of white people say that they don't wash their hands. So that some of them don't wash their dishes. You know, they're thinking about a safety issue too. You think about a safety issue too, because you just never know. Because nobody usually be like, "Yeah, I didn't wash my hands before I made this food for you." You know what I'm saying? So, go ahead, Kit.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted. I have a lot more, but you said you're doing this topic other times, and I'll probably just join you for those two.
Yes,
But
please do.
alarm,
All week we're starting Monday. All week we'll be doing it except for Wednesday, but all week we'll be having this topic just to because I know we can't get it all out in one setting, so I like to have it, lengthen it out.
Yeah. So, oh gosh, come on.
Come on, Mike, you got it.
don't do this to me now. There
Oh,
we
it's
go.
back. It's
Okay.
back.
Alarm. What I wanted to say to you is like I hear the nervousness and all that, and I get it. But what I really think that you should actually do is I think you need to go sit in some Black spaces, some Black lives, Black people's lives, and I think you need to just listen, not comment, not ask questions, not try to get up on the panel. I think you just need to sit in some spaces and just listen. And when you feel uncomfortable, sit there with that uncomfortability and try to find where it's coming from and why it's coming up for you and deal with that. I just wanted to say that because that was a big thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Was
Coconuts in the
just
chat
figuring
for
out
Kit.
why I'm uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
said
thank you.
coconuts in the chat for Kit, and I also too just even from a human aspect when some people say certain things to me, I'm like, if I get offended, I'm like, why am I offended? Where's that coming from? Is that stemming from anywhere? It's the shadow work. It's the shadow work, even just as human beings too. So yeah, I think that's some really good advice. So did you want to add anything else to that, or we just wait till next week?
I'm gonna wait till next week because I think I got a lot more things to just discuss that I think are interesting. And I got to get my thoughts together more because I wasn't ready. I just saw your live and I was like, should I go up? I guess I will. Oh, Jessica's saying I can come up. I guess I will. Okay. So I just
Can
came
I
up here
ask
all
you,
nervous with
Kit?
my thoughts scattered. Yeah.
Yes.
Can I ask you because I mean, I can be like, no. But do you think that that woman that was here was deconstructed? Just as a yes or no?
No. If you're gonna ask me to say yes or no, I'm gonna say no.
Yeah. Listen, I said I can be. I said I won't probably not be here all week.
Yes, yes.
But I said
Project your
unless I
energy.
can be I said unless I can be Simon Cowell.
I'm
Then I'll.
hollering. Okay. When I need assignment, I'm like, can somebody share this to Saji, please? Everybody in the chat gonna know exactly what that means. Thank you so much, kid. I'm gonna drop you down. I appreciate you, love. And
Thank
you're always
you.
welcome. Renee, any last words, Sterling?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes I kind of black out during these and I'm not really sure what I said, but did I talk about like what caused my deconstruction? I know I talked a lot about like what I identified as part of the issue for me, but I want to make sure I was clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be tonight, obviously.
Oh,
But
I'm not sure.
I was like, oh no, did I just rambling?
I'm
Okay.
not sure because it's
I'm
about
sorry
5
about
hours, but come back and then we could
I
kind of
know.
like reiterate it.
Yeah.
So we'll be here all
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Thank you so much, Renee. I
Yeah.
appreciate you.
Okay. Yeah. I guess just my last words would be, and maybe this covers it too, is just like Kit was saying, when you feel uncomfortable, digging into yourself and figuring out why and being like really brutally honest with yourself. And one time I had a fight with somebody on Reddit over like the racism in UK Love Island because I'm into that trash TV. And I realized like I just remember saying to her like it was something else. Sorry. I am
okay. I'm not going to
really
be rude.
grateful.
I'm not trying to be rude, but we're not going back into other stories because Justice trying to get off the live.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I know. My meds were off. I apologize. I am really grateful to everyone who made me extremely uncomfortable, who like were willing to do that. It wasn't their job, but they did that in my life, and I think that I owe it all to them. And I'm not here to like get any empathy, and I understand like when you're hearing people's stories that it can feel like you are meant to like empathize with your abuser. And I learned in therapy that is not what you're supposed to do, that you're allowed to have your feelings for yourself first, and you never have to empathize with your abuser. And so I do not want or expect anything of that towards me. I appreciate like you opening this space up for people to share. Like my only goal is like brutal honesty about like how people like me were raised and how we have thought. And so yeah, that's all.
Of course.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. No
And
worries. Thank you
yeah,
so much. I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes, I think the brutal honesty is the most important part. You got to be honest. If you don't think there's a problem, you're going to sugarcoat the problem, you're not going to fix the problem. You're going to stay in that space. Shout out to D. Bree, any last words for tonight? We'll be here all week. You know, you're welcome to come back. You're always totally brutally honest as well, which I appreciate too. So
Of course, yeah. Sorry, I would have popped up, but I didn't want to be mean because I'm in a mood tonight. But thank you for having me. I did take notes, so I will be back next time you're on with this topic with my notes because I took
Perfect.
quite a few, and I want to go over those. So, but I want to say thank you for holding this space and for always allowing me to come up and do this. And I appreciate you and everyone in here who allows us to have this space and have these uncomfortable conversations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Coconuts in chat for Bree. Thank you.
Have a good.
You too. I always hang up too fast. I'm that person that always call back and be like, "Did you say something else?" I'll be like, "Have a good night. Have a good night, Koya. Thank you for being here, love." Go ahead. Shout out to D. Love me some D. You right, boy. John T. and the John T. Live, but you ain't no mercy or no grace in that bitch. Okay.
No, in the chat, in the comments, they gonna comment.
They rip.
Yes, like the panel would have ate her up, and she's still yapping in the comments. She is still yapping in the comments and not listening. And that's part of the problem. That's the problem. But anyway, I just want to say thank you for letting me up.
Of course,
And
always.
so I was on messy talk, today, and I was just listening, because I don't really do too much over there because they be doing diabolical stuff.
They be doing the most.
But they had a spelling bee contest going on. But no, it was fun. It made me think about last night. It made me think, and
because last night was so needed. I had so much fun.
I did too. I really did. But they had a spelling bee, and they do a certain so many letters or whatever. But it was so good and so engaging. They had 1,300 people watching, and I was
really?
Yeah.
You have to share them to me sometimes in case I'm up and around. I can come check it out.
Next time they do, I definitely will. But I just thought I was like, I hate to try to steal Kev the Comics idea, but I thought it was really fun. It was really engaging. It really was.
Was people in the chat trying to get an answer?
Yeah, they already were told if you put in any answers, you will be muted the whole live.
That made me fucking shut up.
They weren't playing.
Yeah, that make them shut up.
So yeah, it was really good. I just want to say that. And thanks for letting me up. I'm about to drop me down.
Good night, love. Thank you.
Good night.
A strict live, okay? Because me and Saji, when we're in games, we're playing games, and we be like, only put the wrong answers. Don't give out the answers. Yeah, if you tell people you're gonna get muted for the live, then they be like, oh shit, I can't tell you nothing. Then you're on your own, bitch. Saji. How you feeling?
Oh, girl, I am making fried plantains right now to calm myself down. You know what I mean? It was rough. Okay, I'm gonna validate the people in the chat as well. It was rough in this political climate that we are in. It's kind of like, again, it's kind of like when you see the article about the school pew and they're holding a dog, and then they talk about how they were shoved in a locker once. Like, as much as we want to, feel bad, it doesn't change the present or the past. And it is still really, really hard to hear. Or when somebody, hurts you, but then they want to explain, they're like, if you say this, I'm going to do this. And it's like, bitch, So I want to validate that. It's very, very hard. And then, I hope Alarm one day, and however long it is, she comes up on a panel and says, this was this really mean bitch. Her name was Sajida. And she told me my ass was not deconstructed in the least. Because she was still going.
Good night, Monique.
She's still going in the chat. She's still going in the chat. She's been off the panel for 30 minutes. But, I appreciate your curious, way of being, your personality. You are a very, very patient person. I hope you're, I was checking on you, making sure you're good.
I appreciate you.
And I think it's important too, for the people that are deconstructed, that are working on that, to also take that shit back to your communities. And maybe have those conversations of the people that are still in their deconstruction era and not all the way there. Because Jess is having this panel. She wants to hear the stories of what made you deconstruct, right? Not necessarily, I don't know. I have a lot to say, but I'm holding back. I'm trying. I have my own things I've witnessed from the white tea community for sure. I had this. I knew this person that.
Renee said, "No, don't hold back."
Oh my God!
Ah, thank you, Ellen. I thought thought she was asleep. That's the only reason I was like, okay, I know Ella probably be asleep. The rest of them, everybody do that. She said, baby, I ain't never sleep. What the fuck is you talking about? Baby, I don't get tired. Kevin Gates in this hoe. Drop some coconuts. Yes, that is the last gift goal of the night. Usually it's like set a big one, but I just like y'all have already showed so much love tonight. We just gonna leave it at that. She said, hell to the no.
WLM. She's never asleep.
So okay, man. Which I don't get tired.
Hey, she's not tired. I will say one thing. She's sick of us though, for sure, because nobody's helping her out with the goals. But we still love her. She's a queen. The only thing I'll say for the white people that were here.
So, Cal Smitty, what you can do though is you can open up when you come up there, and we can come raid your shit.
Yeah.
Smitty, and that way I can take out my makeup. You know what I'm saying?
A bra free zone, she said.
You know they love a Smitty house. I'm tempted. Well, let me cut my notifications on, my Smitty notifications on. What are you talking about, son? And that was so cute, y'all.
It's knocking at your door. Go ahead.
I don't know who this dude in there.
Sorry, Jess, I keep cutting you off. I just wanted to add one more thing.
No, go ahead, girl. The floor is yours. You got it, baby.
For the white tea people that were up here, or for the ones that maybe wanted to come up and are not, this is maybe your first space that you witnessed like this, or first time you're having a conversation about your story, reserve your story for panels that are wanting to hear the story. Mm-hmm. Because I think that part of the harm sometimes that is being done is when people get confronted on their racism or their anti-Blackness, and where it's not a space that's asking for your backstory, they will pull out the fact that their dog had diabetes, that they had to walk 10 miles to school and they have ADHD, reserve your stories of deconstruction for panels.
200 yards in the building. Making my way downtown. Let's go. Thank you. Coconuts in the chat for dating as well, y'all. Y'all really been acting up. Okay. Go ahead, my bad.
You know what I'm saying though, Jess? I don't want them, because I know the people on the panel, that were here with the closing remarks, I know they get it, but I don't want the people that might have been listening and wanting to request to find their nearest Black panel tomorrow and go trauma dump.
Because it ain't gonna be the same. It's not. It's not gonna be the same receivables. Okay.
Correct. I'm trying. This is a friendly advice.
I'm trying to save you. Oh my God! Look at the little blind box. Let's go. Try some cocos in for the 200 yards in the building. That name is sending me. I'm hollering. Lucid Deep you said, oh, you want some hard truths? You want somebody not have no sympathy for you? Lucid D is gonna send you to Jonty's panel, and they will give you some hard truths. They will not. They ain't gonna go light on you. If you want to get uncomfortable, you can get real uncomfortable. Okay. Need something to cry about? You know how your parents say, "I'll give you something to cry about." They're gonna give you something to cry about. Swan too, for sure. Is Swan on?
If they catch me at Casos too, they
true. Casos as well. Hector hopping up to say, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am. What the fuck are you talking about? W to Mickey Picky. Oh my God. Hey! Oh my God, look at that! That is Caillou! It's on a picnic and it's Bia. Why you working like a Bia? That was Caillou. Drop some coconuts in the chat, y'all. Y'all know what it is. When y'all heard, oh my God, that should trigger coconuts every single time. Okay? It's like a auditory thing. Oh my God. Coconuts. Thank y'all. What are you talking about, son? Okay, my bad. Go ahead, Saji. Tell him what you were about to say. Tell them
Oh
where
my
tell them
God.
where they ain't gonna be safe at.
You're not gonna be safe in Jonty's panel. You're not gonna be safe in Casa's panel, Swan's panel, Declan's panel, and no panel. Okay, don't try this shit. Try this shit at home because you're not gonna try us. Okay.
Try Jesus. Don't
Try
try
Jesus.
me.
Facts. 'Cause there. Listen. How do I say this?
Renee said, "Don't hold back."
Listen. Oh my God, I'm trying not to hold back, but I'm also trying to be nice because
Hold on. How about this? Just be factual. And sometimes, the truth
it is
hurts.
factual. It
Well,
is
if it's
factual.
just facts, then it is what it is.
Listen. White tea people, you might be able to deconstruct and separate yourself from whiteness, but you will never stop benefiting from it. Black and brown people can never separate themselves from the way that they look, from the way that they are perceived. And that's the thing, you might be able to say you're not non-practicing white, but at the end of the day, for as much as even we do got some people that are trying to get that proximity at the hands of a racist, we will always be Black and we will always be brown. And that's why it is so important that you take this message out to the people that it's hard to take it to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people will do a lot of work in the communities where it feels safe, but they will still not go to their parents. They will still not go to their grandparents or to their bosses. And it continues to be an unsafe place with those people. Imagine if it's scary for you, how it is for people that look like me and Jess.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I gotta say. As calmly as
That's a
possible.
really good point too, because you can be uncomfortable in these spaces, but sometimes the real uncomfortability is with your parents, with your mom, your dad, your brothers and your sisters, your church members. This may be nothing because even psychologically or subliminally, you might still like, I'm superior. You can be uncomfortable. It's a little uncomfortable, but I'm still white. But go to your white friends, go to your white mom, go to your white aunt, your white dad, spark up those conversations and question their authority, their reasoning, why. And they don't even necessarily gonna be like, just ask why. And then they ask why again and why, because it ain't making no damn sense. It ain't making no damn sense. Show Saji some love for, holding her composure here tonight. Show her some love for having the conversations in a new manner. Yes, thank you, LM. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, you can tell. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, because I know everybody's not
I
not
was
always
keeping
easy.
it respectful for Jess's space.
Mm-hmm.
I know she is very interested in getting to the bottom of this shit, and I hope that it was helpful for other white tea people who haven't got there yet to at
Mm-hmm.
least hear the stories and see the other side. But it was definitely rough. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yo, we had a dude come up here and tell us that the school called his parents over a manifesto, and he swore up and down he didn't do it. I know he did it, okay? I know everybody felt he did it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, but I know he did it. Because
I'm hollering. I'm hollering. I'm hollering. I'm hollering. I'm hollering. I'm hollering. I'm hollering.
Jess, how's he gonna say? Listen,
I'm hollering.
There was a manifesto, right? It was very detailed. It talked about the different hallways. My favorite hallway was hallway B, but wait, it wasn't me. Bruh. We know We know, okay? I'm sure the statute of limitations protects you on that shit by now. So just come out.
White
Because he's
privilege protects them on that shit. Because the fact that even one of the guys that did a school unaliving, the FBI had already been at their house once when he had planned and threatened to do it once before. And they let him go. They didn't do nothing about it. And then they just sit up there and let him fucking, and then he did it. And they're like, they act like you fucking surprised, bitch. Because y'all don't do anything about it. Y'all don't do anything about it. And that's the
I
issue.
was trying not to trigger him into, actually going to do it this one time around.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just a conversation. They ain't not getting it out. They're not being heard. They're not being, the abuse say, shut your fuck up. In the name of Jesus, spare the rod, Like I always, and this could even contribute to like now, I was always the kid in school that, I was almost like, I'm talking to those people. So I'm all like, if they come into the school, it ain't gonna be me. They're gonna be like, that she was my friend. She didn't treat me like they did. And they were gonna keep on going.
I feel like we had enough story times today, but I'll say I did have a dude that did write one in school. After he got caught, he came up to me and said, "Don't worry, you were not in there." I said, "I know, my dude. I know, because I was nice to everybody. I was not the bully I am today. I have blossomed, if you may." Okay?
You ain't even a bully. I think you just call out the bullshit.
I'm just very blunt. I'm very blunt. I try to be nice, but like if I can smell the bullshit, you know what I mean? Like I have to call it out. Like and it's like I was fighting for my life. I was messaging people like, "Hey y'all, do we agree that he did this shit?" Because I didn't want to disturb or perturb the conversation. But we know he did it. Because what you mean your parents were gonna disown you over this manifesto, but they didn't disown your sister over swerving them to a crowd of black people? What did your daddy do? How many sheds did he have in his backyard? Because nobody has 4 sheds in a tiny Oh man, sorry. Dude, you're right.
I love y'all so much. We only been on here about 6 hours. It's time to go to bed, y'all. I love y'all so much. First of all, shout out to Eliam is holding down the number 1 spot. Was already running this thing. Captain, I'm the captain now. Was captain of this ship today. So shout out to LM. Can I get some coconuts for LM? Again, you will get 3 entries into our end of the month raffle. 2, Monique was number 2. Shout out to Monique. She's not in here right now, but I do know she was still number 2. Day being number 3. Thank you so much, and I want to thank everybody in here that came and showed up and showed out in the battle today. And I know y'all see SoCal Smitty right there. Okay, he's all the one to grow on. I appreciate you, SoCal. Everybody that tapped the screen, everybody that shared the live, everybody that engaged today, everybody that came up on the panel, shared your stories, set in the uncomfortableness, the comfortableness, allowed you to just kind of have your opinion. The people who, I appreciate all my mods and my people like, hey girl, ma'am, excuse me, this ain't gonna work, So there's a lot also going on to everybody that behind the scenes that kind of helped me navigate things along. All my mods, Taylor Twice, Saji, Dayton, number 1 shooter. He been here since day 1. I appreciate you. Yeah, drop coconuts for the royal family. Y'all did that. We won our battle. Okay. Ellen was like, you throw your you throw your shit here. You throw the glove. I'm gonna do this. And the royal family got a renovation today. We got our first castle. We got our first fantasy castle. Yeah. So all the kings and queens that's in this hole, readjust your crown. Shout out to Mickey for LM for the renovation. Okay, LM is stop playing. Put some respect on our name. Okay. Period. Well, congrats. I know. Thank you. I ain't gonna lie. It got me litty like a titty. I was like, but I get a little competitive. What up, Nessa? How you doing? Thank y'all so much for being here. We getting up out of here. I love y'all so much. Thank you guys so much. Just battles are legendary, baby. We had a few of them today. You know what I'm saying? I like the ones when they get a little bit themed and we get to dress up. I love to dress up. When we was the Avengers, baby, we was Wakanda forever in this house. Okay, yeah, I'm going to bed. I'm sleepy. I love y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, all. Thank you for all the donations. Thank you, everybody. Help me out. I love you. YouTube. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. As well. Thank y'all for joining in with us. Thank y'all for engaging. Again, if y'all gonna go to work, y'all got a laptop at the house. I got a playlist. I'm gonna put it in the Discord. Just play the whole playlist so we can get hours, and you can just play it at the house. You can put it on mute.